Hello, folks. You came in just in time to see Robinson boogieing on down to the background music.
It's nice
Caught you,
music.
Robinson. Caught ya.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be doing it later anyway while you're all talking.
And hello to my stream as well. Hello to Frucci in both of them.
Indeed. Hello,
Dance
Frucci.
away, dear boy, dance away.
That dance.
You can dance.
What is
if
the
you want.
dances?
1920s, 1930s, so you're looking at jive.
Yep.
Oh, I have shoes for that.
Oh, God. Of course you do.
It's
Why
all
wouldn't
big
you?
band and swing. You weren't kidding, were you? You have.
Oh, my God.
I don't know whether to be impressed or terrified. Anyway,
So,
folks.
Yeah, here we are for some more Crimson Skies.
Yes, indeed. Back in the 1930s, back in 1937, or rather, an alternate 1937, America is a number of fractured nations. In fact, rather than have the blimp on screen, let's go to the map, which is...
Under the circumstances, let's actually close my character sheet so that my stream can see this.
No.
Wait, give us the map back. Thank you. Here we go, ladies and gents. This is the map of America in the world of Crimson Skies. Rather, North America. It's fractured out into a number of separate nations, all with their own unique take on things, largely as a result of a combination of failed prohibition and influenza.
I like the sound of Appalachia.
Ding, 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 ding.
Drud has the sound of
was.
it.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I've seen it. I
Thank
saw
you for the follow,
Deliverance
Commander Root.
last week, actually.
Ah, Commander Root, hello.
Hello, Commander Roots. I feel really
welcome
left
aboard.
out. So I should just be streaming on my own account as well.
And hello,
Really
Cithra.
mess everything up.
Yeah. Well, get a scene set up for it for next week.
Mm.
Start
Yeah.
streaming as of episode 3. There's no real reason why you shouldn't.
No, not at all.
No, I wasn't sure out of general respect for the Bites of Night.
No, feel
But
free
yeah,
to.
for anybody in my stream who doesn't already know, you can type !multi to get a multi-link to show Nightbite's stream as well, because Nightbites the GM is also streaming this on his channel.
Hello.
And
Yeah.
hello, Scythera.
So yes, Drut, if you wish to stream this next week, let me know and I'll drop you some images to use if you so wish.
Fair enough. I keep reading a Rixo as a Trixo. It's a form of state that's really good for your hands.
Probably. So. Where were we at the end of the
Our
last
players
session?
are still in Skyhaven in Colorado, up in the dizzy heights of the Rockies. They've been given a bit of a mission by their owners, or rather the owners of the ship that they crew. They've been given they were told initially that airmen were coming to reinforce the crew and have a mission for them. What actually happened was an auditor named Armin arrived, and he had the mission for them. There is a high-tech experimental airframe out there that they need to go and reclaim for their employers.
Yes, a remote-controlled airframe,
Yes.
That was
which
it.
is something entirely new to us.
Oh, yes.
I don't know that I like the sound of it personally.
No, you. Hang on. We're not secret police, that's for certain. No, you don't like anything where you could not headfirst throw yourself into a situation.
Yeah, I mean, what's the
Involving
point in a
personal
plane you
safety.
can't fly? Is the idea to get two of them and use them like roller skates? Because that might work.
And now, of course,
That was really hard.
the mad scientist has ideas.
I think I'll pass. It sounds like way too painful if you end up losing control.
You'd really have to
Splits
trust the people in
mid-air.
control.
Why would you? Why would there
Good
be
evening,
people in
Mechiador.
control? Why would you not be in control of the airplane strapped to your feet?
Yeah, you'd have to be controlling it yourself, wouldn't you? Definitely, that would be the way to go. Now, I do
At
have
that
a
point,
small
you're basically
problem with the
making
fact that
more
I've
like
now added
stable.
people's names on my stream. The small
Hmm.
problem that I have is that Robinsen's got a big chunk of wall above his head, and there's literally just a head sitting above the plaque with his name on. And Drup disappears every time she leans forward to type.
Sorry, it's not my fault.
It's not my fault. They told me they fixed it.
Yeah, that's not my fault. I'm dragging people in from a different Discord as new viewers, by the way. So
Oh,
I
excellent.
was just going to say, have you alerted to the fact that while you're not actually streaming, you are in a stream?
I may possibly have pointed out that there is an opportunity to hear me do a terrible Russian accent.
Oh my word.
So
Yeah,
I've posted them to him Fish's channel on the grounds that that's actually what I'm posting. So I then thought, but no, it's running out. I should post them there. But never mind. Oopsie.
Nameplates, Meki, were created long ago and have been dragged in at the last minute for this stream.
Yeah, nameplates are a
With the
thing I need to do.
result that when I set this stream up, I didn't leave room for them, so I've had to put them over the bottom of the canvas. If they're too much, Druts is definitely in the way. I think I'm going to have to turn it off, aren't I? It's not going to work. Because we just can't see Druts, basically.
Trust
Sorry,
doing a
well-
Chad
Let
impression.
I'll leave the character name and just get rid of that. We'll have to just tell people the one in the middle is Drut.
Sorry.
I might have to do the same for Robinson, actually. It looks silly with one there and not the other, and with two there and not the other one, so we can just about see Nightlight's okay behind.
Well,
these.
that's okay.
Don't need.
Yeah,
I
so long
don't
as you
need
can see the
character name
GM,
parts on
that's
the
fine.
top half of the plaque. So yeah, the only person who now is allowed a name is the GM.
Yay!
There you go. You're special.
Yes.
We've known that for years.
That's true.
Need to look at my stalwart.
But we do have character names along the bottom, so we can see that I'm playing Chuck.
Yep.
Call sign Midas. Oops, and I'm bashing my microphone.
I'm playing Masha. Call sign Madonna.
And
Are we doing character introductions?
Just
Mark
names.
is failing to get the hint.
Whereas
Sorry.
Mark is playing Merlin and has apparently spent extensive time in bar while waiting to do repairs on our ships.
or is deep in meditation, awaiting
Uh,
repairs.
I kind of, yes, as usual, I do feel the need to apologise for my atrocity of a Russian accent.
I've done all the apologising I'm going to do for Chuck. I have
You can never
apologised.
apologise enough for Chuck.
And there's
Never.
no way to apologise enough, so I may as well just leave it there now and stop. Because otherwise, I'm just going to be doing nothing but apologising all session. every time I
Scrolling
play this.
disclaimer across the top.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually. I should just put a scrolly across the scene, shouldn't I? Saying, Trishy apologises for his accent, please don't hurt him.
Fish, can you check if you're muted, please?
Oh
I
dear.
shouldn't be.
Is there a muted
Hang on.
fishy?
Hang on. I think I'm not muted, but I think Windows may have screwed everything up again.
As Windows
no,
does.
that's looking okay. Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Mekidor, because you were worried. They were worrying me there, because it happens so often. And I was thinking, am I starting to get delusional because they want me to check if I'm muted, and I can't see anything in chat saying is Fishy muted? So
No, it's just the routine
just-
check that we do.
Yeah.
it's just you're so confident of my abilities that you automatically check to see if I'm muted.
It was more that somebody just popped up in a PM and said, I can't get any sound.
Ah, that also worrying.
So I've pointed them at Night's stream just as an alternate, but I have said other viewers can get sound, so I hope it's okay.
Oh yeah, I mean, Becky says he can hear me. So I assume you can hear everyone else as well, Mickey.
Yeah.
You should be able to.
Hopefully so.
Right.
So, you guys
Okay.
need more chips.
We do.
Right. I shall reach around and
Shut up, Lazarus.
rummage to see what we get. So 3 chips each. So let's start with left to right on my camera. So Fishy, you have bloody hell. Red, white, and blue.
Is that the only thing I ever draw?
Apparently so.
That's exactly what I drew last time.
And it's not the chips you drew last time. Because although I've dropped one,
So
they're right here.
that puts me to now 3 white and 2 each of red and blue.
Go beans.
Is it 10 or something that's the maximum you can have? Scott?
It is.
I can look it up if you don't actually know.
Either
Probably
8 or 10, I believe. Let me just have a quick.
Annoyingly for pretty much everyone, I think, the mic is pretty much
yeah,
right
Laz-
above the chip pot. Commander Rude, thank you
Laz
for the follow.
is something is muted, so you're absolutely right. Nobody can hear Laz at the moment. I should probably turn him on, otherwise. Oh no, I know people only watch my streams for Lazarus. So
Right, Drut has, interestingly, red, white, and blue.
Oh, awesome.
yeah, it is 10. That is the maximum.
Yeah, I thought it was, but I didn't want to declare it until.
If you get more than that,
has-
trade in the excess for bounty points
What page is that
or
on?
whatever we're calling it. I'm using a different edition of the book to you, so.
Good point. Yeah, I thought you were on the 20th anniversary.
No, I've actually got the physical 2nd edition player's guide here.
Okay.
Robinson,
It's
you
easier
have,
for quick lookups like that.
brace
Like where
yourself,
things are.
Good, I did there.
red, red, white. The chip gods have been nice to you guys today.
Meki, we don't
Yes,
redraw
Mekidor, you-
chips. We
Yeah.
draw chips. We
So
do
you get
hang
to
on
keep
to
whatever you already had,
So,
but then you draw 3 at the start of each session.
whatever chips Fishy had at the start of at the end of the last session, these 4 he keeps, and he gets the 3 that we've just drawn added on top. So
Yep.
Fishy, in fact, red chips are the ones least common in the deck, and everyone drew at least 1. Robinson got 2.
There is something very strange going on here because so far I'm drawing good chips and I've made some good die rolls.
I mean, if
Yeah.
I show you
And-
guys the pot,
It's really freaking me out.
the proportions are right.
It's preparing for that massive crash where all your luck runs out.
Yeah. Now, depending on which way
Yeah,
you guys
something-
go with
something's
things,
gonna happen hugely
there are legend
to
chips
make up for
available.
this.
if you do dastardly bad things, there will be black legend chips. If you do absolutely heroic good things, there will be green legend chips. They are there.
Yep, so good. Me.
I've got
Right.
13 bounty points worth of legend chips.
Yeah,
I must check how much it costs you to actually render.
lots, lots
It
and
does
lots,
cost
and
lots.
lots. It does really cost. Lots.
Yes.
You know,
Okay.
actually, raising aptitudes isn't that much.
It's raising the
equal
die
to the
type.
level you're going to.
Okay.
Yeah, it's raising
So-
the die type that's the expensive one.
Yeah. So we have to track down remote control vessel.
Yes. Now you've been told of who they believe is the group that took it. All they've seen is the squadron logo that was on the planes that were involved in the attack.
Yeah. Wasn't something we recognised.
Remind me what the logo was.
It was a blackbird, wasn't it?
Oh yes.
It was.
Yes. The
Yeah.
back
In
rows.
fact, let's add a handout for you.
These guys could be hard to handle.
Oh, good lord.
At least that was out of character.
Apparently, Meki approves of the change of your background.
Yes, I thought you'd be disappointed, Meki. I thought you liked the asterisk look. But now you've pointed it out, I had to find a new background graphic.
I think that's more fitting for your character.
You should
too.
now all be able to see that logo.
Yeah,
Ah,
it's
yes.
endearing.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Though they do they put like when they retire from air piracy, they're probably going to make some pretty good first-person shooters.
Yes. That's right. Let's pin this so you guys aren't vanishing behind my setup every time I click. Okay. What do you mean I'm running up 47 degrees?
Reminds
The
me, I need to get my campaign notes.
For anybody
up.
wondering, the inset on the right of the game screen up above our heads there is my plane, Little Nelly.
That is on Fishy's stream, not on mine.
Yeah.
For those
Because
in
I
my...
was
Very different.
mirroring the whole of my Cyberfox
Ah,
because it's a lot easier. Since normally I have a separate stream specifically for maps and so forth when I'm DMing, so I don't show the DM's side of things. I don't like giving away secrets to the audience, to chat.
Mm-hmm.
But since I'm a player and I don't have any secrets, I can just show whatever.
You
I've
can
got.
show everything.
Indeed. Well, not if I want to stay on Twitch. They have rules.
Point
There
taken.
are laws for that.
So for those wanting to see the plane that Fishy is talking about, Little Nelly, if I just zoom in a fraction.
Mm-hmm.
So that there, ladies and gentlemen of the viewership.
Have you sent us across?
No, I haven't. No. Let's send you across. I was just showing any viewers in my channel.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
So for those of you who have just arrived, Little Nelly is on the bottom left. For those of you on my screen, that's Little Nelly over there. It's a dedicated racing plane. Has just
I love the little flavor text.
one piddly little gun.
Yeah.
Nellie's a sweet plane. She don't throw much of a punch, but she's got great legs.
Whereas apparently the maquette is designed to headbutt you.
Pretty
Yes,
much.
probably.
The maquette being Drut's plane.
Yep.
That
With
one.
all the guns.
I must admit, I do like this idea of a turret that fires backwards. I could do with that.
Not something you find on racer planes that much.
I just
No.
have vision of
I
a
can
kind
give
of
you
a
one.
But it was a
top.
standard for me in Dark Future and Death Racing in Car Wars to have guns that fire backwards
Mm.
because I tended to strip my planes down my cars down as light as possible for speed.
Yes.
And then on the assumption I was going to be in front of people.
Have
I
the
needed
guns on the back,
passives and
yes.
rear-facing weapons.
I did very much the same. So that is all the information you have to go on as far as the people who took it.
Okay.
Just the fact that there's that black bird that looks like it might be a raven or a crow or a blackbird or something of that family.
Yeah.
So. Crimson Skies a fiction world with a focus on airplanes in some way and
Most
fight things.
definitely.
Yes.
Crimson Skies is an alternate version of the 1930s, if I
1930s,
recall
yes.
correctly, where basically two Spanish influenza outbreaks and was it World War One not finishing when it should have done?
No, World War One finished as it should have,
finished
but
fine.
Prohibition
Prohibition.
didn't work.
Prohibition didn't start when it should have, really,
Yeah.
because it was done on a state-by-state basis instead of nationally
Nationally.
across the US.
And some states said,
And-
nope, we're not doing that.
Yeah, there was a lot of friction between the states. Then you started getting people trying to run bootleg liquor between the states where it was legal into states where it wasn't.
Yeah.
And with the states splitting up and the borders closing that way and the requirement to cross states where the laws would be different and go across so many customs borders effectively, freight transport across America became primarily focused on air travel, on Zeppelins. Because if you take your Zeppelin across the state, you don't have to land and actually go through customs inspections on the way and deal with the fact that the goods you're carrying are illegal there. So it's the better way of getting through a lot of countries that have different laws,
The
and
downside
different
to that being
border checkpoints.
that
Sky Pirates.
Sky Pirates became a thing, and pirate crews got hold of airships that were carrier capable. They carried a small complement of fighters, and they would raid other airships. This has led to the rise of air militia. Many nations have their own defence forces, and there's a few adventurous groups out there that go out and do interesting things. Sometimes on the side of the good guys, sometimes not so much.
We're basically PMCs in planes.
Yep.
Pretty much in the 1930s.
in the
Okay.
1930s.
So, the way I see it, we have a choice. We need to track down the planes with this squadron logo. For starters, PMC stands for.
Private Military
Like that
Company.
chat, but
Thank you.
It's a modern term for mercenary.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, we can either possibly hit bars and talk to people and see if they have seen any of these vessels, or we could attempt. I'm losing it now. Hang on. We could attempt surveillance and see if we can look for anywhere where likely in this area where they may have been holding up and where they can have landed several vessels. Assuming they've landed and they're not mounting a Zeppelin.
Can we not just fly around and look for some really small planes?
The really small planes were the remote control ones, yes?
Yeah, that's what we're looking for, right? The guys who have them.
Yes.
And if they're keeping it in a box.
That was the one was stolen. So you want
Okay,
to fly
look for
around.
a really small plane.
So you wish to fly around mountains until you find a small plane. In your small plane, using only your 2 pair of eyes.
Yeah. You could have just said no.
I'm surrounded by children. Perhaps we could try and gather some information first. See if
Well-
we can direct our efforts to specific areas.
See, normally I'm not averse to going to a bar, but the last time didn't go so well for me.
Why did you end up in Cropduster?
It's kind of a long story. There
Give
was
me
a
short
girl.
version. Oh god.
There was a girl.
Oh god. There was a girl. So you ended up
Yeah.
in a Cropduster.
Yeah, that's the short version.
Uh-huh. Did you at least get her name?
Actually, no.
Oh god. Children! I am surrounded by children!
I got her address. Unless she stole the plane.
Oh, a dress, as opposed to a dress. Well, that's
No, yeah, no, where she lives.
Stole
Place
her
of
dress.
habitation.
good. Well, maybe we can send her an apology note for your behavior, which I don't doubt was appalling.
Actually, we should
Actually,
send
I
her
was
a
a
bill, if anything. For
perfect
me fixing her
gentleman.
plane.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, if anything, we just need to send her a bill, yeah, because she was using Merlin. He got the plane going, so yeah, we need the
Seems
money.
Why suddenly pick up on an urgent need for Cropduster? It's not like this is a big farming community.
Now there was some kind of whole secretive smuggling type deal going on. I don't know what it was. She didn't want to tell me, and then I got distracted when I was trying to weasel it out of her because somebody got themselves into trouble with some top hats, and I needed to come and help.
When you say help, you mean do very little as I then lost them.
I mean, distract them and get them off your tail, as I saw it.
I thought you simply annoyed them over the radio.
And no radio in the crop duster.
Oh, that was point, yes. That was different plane.
No,
you were
I
simply
had
annoying
to
in a
annoy them the
different
hard way.
direction. This is true. Okay.
So while that conversation is going on, you'll hear
Yeah.
a curious scratching sound. As you look around the room, you realise that Armin is sat there in the corner, listening intently to every word you're saying, making copious
Making
notes.
notes.
Oh.
He did stop briefly at the point you mentioned you need to issue a bill for the fixing of the crop duster, and then made more copious notes.
Bollocks.
I don't know, do we really need to issue a bill, though? Because technically Merlin was off duty at the time.
Okay.
Oh, you took his time. He needs to issue a bill for that. Most definitely, yes. His time is his time. We need to judge for
Okay.
it. Yes.
You need to get onto admin on that.
Okay. So, Armin is basically a time and motion type chap, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Right, let
I'm
me
just
just
remembering that episode of Babylon 5 Crusade where the PR guys came on board with the new uniforms.
Oh dear God, don't, that was just horrific. Let me just have a look at what Masha's overall is. Okay, she's going to approach and sit on the edge of the table next to him.
Mm-hmm.
making sure she is at a higher elevation, and lean over him.
She's been reading books on business management.
Yes. Save your paper for things that have not already happened. Okay?
Okay. I need to go and check the supply rooms.
Excellent idea. Go be
That's
somewhere
diplomacy.
where we yeah.
Don't kill
That
anyone.
was not diplomacy. That was pure intimidation, mate.
So, Bus, do we got a... No, I wasn't talking to you. Do we got a budget for this? Because, like, you know, if we need to ask around about this logo, we might need to grease a few wheels, open a few mouths.
I think the problem is that all expenses are going to be monitored by silly little pencil man now.
Yeah, but they're expenses doing his stuff that he wants.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll see what we can come up with. We should have some operational budgeting, Kitty. Take it from there. We'll sort it out later. With luck, we can get him to pay for it.
Yeah, last time you said anything about operational budget in the kitty, I sort of recall it was an IOU from a petrol station,
They did
or
always.
a gas station.
Yeah. At least it wasn't the other way round. Okay. So, what do we want to do first, guys? Do we want to just fly around at random and see what happens? Or do
Because
we
what's the
want
worst
to...
that could happen if they do that?
Oh god, he's pulling out random encounter tables as I speak, isn't he?
This is a radio-controlled plane, right?
Theoretically, yeah.
Do we know
Presumably.
what radio frequency it uses?
That's a point. We have a
You-
file on it, don't we?
You have a file on it. You
Yeah,
have.
we should probably look at the file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a file. You have a selection of the blueprints, but you haven't yet gone through it to confirm how much detail that actually gives you. It might just be the chassis construction of the remote itself.
Right.
It might be the full
Well,
detail.
that's
you
very
don't
much
know.
that's very much their business.
Yeah.
We're going to
I-
look for this plane and we don't know what it looks like.
Mash is the
Okay.
boss. She needs to create tactics, and obviously Merlin's the one who will understand what any of it means. But when he's looking at the blueprints, I will be looking over his shoulder, wondering whether or not you could just scale everything up by, say, ×2 and create something I could fly.
Oh god. Yep, I wouldn't be surprised at all, Sithara. Okay. So I suggest we go through the file. Let's look for any photos of the actual thing itself. So if we see anything even vaguely similar, we'll at least know what we're looking for. And blueprints and specs I will pass straight to Merlin, because that's his job, even if he is in the
Yeah.
dark and you can't whinge about my lighting.
Okay.
He's just live role playing. We're all in the dark about what's going on here, so
Yep.
And Robinson opens the window. I expect him to crumple into a pile of dust any second now.
yeah, this is risky. Must be wearing
Yeah.
a factor 50.
Sunlight, ugh.
Yes.
I had enough of that yesterday in London,
Mm.
and I
Yeah.
suspect you two are the same. God.
I was making friends with my after son when I got home this afternoon. Yeah. I feel like I've been lightly microwaved.
Right, so, did I hear right that Robinson is going to be... Sorry, that Merlin is going to be poring over the information that you've been given on the more
The
technical
technical
Yeah.
side?
specification.
The tech
yes.
specs, yes. Tell us what we're looking for.
Okay,
I'm assuming there's a handout or something for this.
not yet.
Oh,
What I need you to do first is to make a tinkering roll to effectively understand what you're looking at.
Oh, it might be beyond his capabilities.
I'll be fine. Tinkering, is it?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Can I
right, let's
make
have
an
fun with
engineering
this.
roll looking over his shoulder?
You can make a roll. I know your skill is far less than his.
Yeah.
Tinkering is. Oh gosh, where is this thing?
I was just thinking engineering is a different way of assessing the blueprints to his tinkering, so I
Tinkering's
might get
under
something he
smarts.
doesn't get.
Ah, there it
Robinson.
is. I was looking at mad science, but it's not the one.
No.
Yeah, okay.
Is your tinkering only one
got
die? I thought your tinkering was more than that.
Sod all on
Hang on.
engineering.
Did you go with engineering instead?
I went with engineering because I was trying to assess it.
That's
from the
Fish's die I
engineering
saw.
viewpoint,
Right.
because-
Ah.
yeah.
Okay. I was
I
worried for a
have
second.
engineering too. If you want me to roll that.
Roll that as well,
You
yes.
do have engineering as well.
Yep, roll the both. Holy
Well, in that
crap!
case, if we're doing both
What a
times,
miss! Bloody Nora.
Do I understand these specifications?
Okay. Merlin, have you been moonlighting? Because I see signature at bottom that says property of. And then a little tiny bird.
Right, so, Fishy, you're looking at this thing and
I got nothing.
It's
on
beyond
both
you
engineering
completely.
and tinkering.
Yeah, it's way beyond you.
I don't think.
If it works, it's magic.
That's a plane, right?
God.
It has a way.
Robinson, what you're looking at first glance is a scaled down Bloodhawk, which is a huge design. It's one of the fastest, most agile fighters out there, but doesn't pack much of a firearm side punch. It's got a couple of 30 cals and that's about it.
That's the one I've got.
A lot of the pilots refer to it as like flying in a tinfoil with a pea shooter.
Was that the one from what was behind Fishy's head previously?
No,
Yeah, that.
no.
I thought the Bloodhawk was what was following me.
no, that was a brigand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
No, I have a
If there'd
picture of
been
a
a
Bloodhawk.
Bloodhawk following you, then there wouldn't have been anything I could do about it because it would be faster and far more manoeuvrable than
Let's get a Bloodhawk
my
up here for you
crop
guys to have
duster.
a butcher's at.
Bloodhawk things like dusting crops. Okay.
Yes. I know I put one in here. But it's gone missing. Why has it gone missing? There we go.
Yes, if this is remote controlled, is there any way you could build a device that would look for right frequency?
Because that's what I was thinking originally, was triangulating its location if they were using it. But that requires them to have the radio on.
If they're using it, then it presumably has radio. I don't see people stealing and not using, unless they are doing it purely for sale, in which case they still have to steal and not use it. Steal and use it, because they need to demonstrate it to buyers.
Okay, that page that you shouldn't have been taken to is a wing of Bloodhawks.
Oh my god. Well, they're on
Oh, okay.
It's,
Yeah, they do look
it's a pusher.
That's
Engine and
what's
wings
weird
at the
about
back.
it.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
pusher, so the engine's at the back.
Yeah.
The wings are back, slightly deltoed. It's got canards that you can't see too clearly in that picture.
Oh,
it is
yeah.
very, very sleek.
Canards being the little wing that's
And-
at the front,
Yes.
As I
It's
said last
heavy.
week, I haven't found them yet, but I'm pretty sure I've got a squadron of them in the clicks.
Yeah, if you've got the, I think it's the Broadway bombers, they have a couple of those.
yeah? Okay. So,
It's
yeah.
like a scaled down one of those. I say like because it's not quite the same. For a start, it's a lot smaller, there's no cockpit, and it has no guns. What it has instead of where the cockpit and the gun mechanism would be is a warhead.
Ooh, it's
Oh.
a guided bomb.
It is
that's
it
very
is a
different.
guided bomb.
bollocks.
And from looking at the blueprints that you have, although you don't have the full detail on exactly how it all works, you don't have the frequency it operates on, you don't have all the fine detail on the mechanisms, you can see that it's set up to take a number of different types of warhead, and that it would be
I really
launched.
hope Germany doesn't get a hold of this.
It would
Because
be
if they
launched
built
from.
a remote-guided V2 rocket, I would be terrified.
No, you'd be changing sides.
It
They
would be
have the
launched
best
from underneath
toys.
a fighter.
Ah. So up and deployed from there. Okay, fair enough.
And it does give the specifications on where the latch points would be, and it looks like it's been designed to be launched from a Bloodhawk.
That would make sense.
So, hang on.
Can I build one
Correct
for
me
a
if I'm
certain
wrong.
person?
Correct me if I'm wrong. They've said they've stolen
Prototype.
the prototype, but they didn't say they'd stolen the Bloodhawk.
Well, the Bloodhawk's a commercial aircraft, so all they need to do is. Plus, they can probably retrofit something to hold one of these onto pretty much any plane.
Yeah, but they still need an engineer to do the retrofitting.
Yeah.
And somewhere to work on it.
You know what we really need to know? I think we need to know whether they got the plans or just the plane.
Mm.
Because if they got the plane only, then it's going to be in some hangar somewhere being taken apart by boffins. If they got the plans, then they can use the one they got.
Yeah. Okay. If I wanted to demonstrate a warhead in this area, I would want a target. I want a target that would look impressive.
Do we know it's in this area?
It's mountains. It's kind of isolated community elements built into Rex, isn't it?
No, the plane. Do we know that it's in this
Ah.
area?
It is believed to
I
be.
mean, this would be the obvious place to sell it or to bring it, so to keep it out of the hands of the authorities if it is stolen. But
That's certainly the impression that I think Armin was trying to put across.
Okay.
But we ain't seen no signs of these flyboys. So either they're keeping a real low profile or they ain't round here.
Do we think? Oh, the accent will return in a minute. Give me a moment. Do we think that the Top Hat's working with the Medusas, allegedly on a big contract or a big payday, could be that they're trying to steal this remote control plane from whoever has it, whichever small outfit has it?
I don't know, that could just be coincidence.
It could be, but it seems like hell of a coincidence for two groups who don't
mean, if this
particularly
is-
like each other.
This is a small outfit we never heard of, and two pretty big outfits. That why would they need help against guys like that? No need to team up.
Hmm. Fair enough. If it turns out otherwise, though, I'm just going to laugh at you.
Sure.
Because that happens a lot anyway.
Yeah, I noticed.
Okay, it's because you're laughable.
Still fly rings around you, sugar. I mean,
Don't
boss.
need- I don't need to fly rings around you. I can simply shoot rings out of you. And you're only 1 point better than me, mate.
Yeah, I know.
One die. One die.
One die.
die.
Ah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so Merlin, anything leaping out on the tech specs at you? Since you have a comprehensive understanding of them.
Give me a. Oh, is there a significant knowledge skill? There's supposed to be another engineering.
He has a comprehensive understanding of this drone's place in the entirety of the universe.
Yeah.
He can probably extrapolate other drones from how well he understands this one.
I can build my own one now. That's the main thing.
Oh, good, because that's comforting.
I don't need to learn how to fly. I can just remote control a plane.
Oh, God.
You still need to know how to fly remote control. It might just be a little more difficult because you're not sat in the cockpit. Yeah, give me another engineering roll.
Okey-dokey.
Boss, have you considered the possibilities of a thing like this? I mean, Nelly
So-
could carry one of these mini planes in close and get out fast with nobody any the wiser.
So, Robinson, a couple of things come to mind as you're mulling this over.
Okay.
One being that not that long ago, relatively speaking, Nikola Tesla was messing about with a similar sort of hookup for small remote-controlled vessels. He had devised effectively a remotely controlled torpedo boat, which a ship would drop over the side, control, and deliver the torpedo a lot easier. But it still did need a proximity to some degree for the control. Radio waves still have a limit of distance. So whoever's controlling it will need to be controlling it fairly close by.
Plus, in this era, they're going to need a line of sight on the
Yeah.
thing because you're not going to have.
There's no remote cameras or
camera
anything.
feedback.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So whatever is happening with this remote, the pilot of the remote needs to be nearby. So either the aircraft that's carrying it has 2 seats, or there's a second plane. Again with 2 seats, because you can't fly your own aircraft and control this other thing, because you need more hands than you physically have.
Okay.
So if
So,
extrapolating, if they've just somehow got the remote unit itself, then they don't have a delivery mechanism, because whatever they've got won't have the right latch points and probably
Yeah.
won't have the ability to control it. So the
Yeah,
chances
good
are
point.
they
may not
have,
the controls.
if they've got the unit itself, they'll probably have the Bloodhawk that's been modified to take it. And if they've only got the one, because it's a prototype, they probably won't be too keen on detonating it.
This is true. This is very true.
So if there's any
Like I said.
demonstrations, it won't be an explosive demonstration. Because that would
so
result.
we're looking
Looking at what you've got, once it's delivered its warhead, it's pieces. There's no reusability in this thing.
So you have seen our
Primitive
demonstration.
missile.
Now, will you buy our shrapnel or not?
Yeah. Do we have any indication in the blueprints as to what warhead it mounts?
It had, looking at the way it's put together, it's designed in such a way that it could mount different types, depending on the role it was being used for.
Was the prototype armed?
No one has told you that yet. It could be that the prototype has no warhead at all.
Oh, our luck is not that good. You know, blowing up somebody's Zeppelin with a remote control plane would be an excellent demonstration.
That's the obvious target for these things is Zeppelins, because things on the ground are just too easy to get explosives to without. It's things in the air you
Yeah.
are applying remote controlled explosive for.
I know where the top hats have parked their Zeppelin.
Yeah, I like your thinking, but we don't have the mini plane yet.
Thinking ahead. Planning ahead. It's a place to be prudent. However, yeah.
Assuming the people who stole this are mildly competent, are they going to know that we're connected to it?
That's an interesting question. That would need to have a lot of knowledge around the venture capital that owns your ship,
Yeah.
which you currently
we
don't
don't
have.
really know a lot about.
I,
Okay.
I'm
case,
worried that
yes.
we're on the target list for demonstration.
Yeah. The only thing is, if they took us out, they'd be risking taking out a large chunk of the landing strip underneath, and that would bugger up the community and get a lot of very angry pilots and probably draw far too much hostile attention because the bad net's moored actually at the landing strip, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
above it.
Yep.
Okay, this idea may be really out there, but this, these Raven guys that we think took it,
Mm.
are we sure they're even a real crew? I mean, you take 3 or 4 top hats, you paint a new logo on the side of the plane, and nobody knows you've got it.
Who would ever think of changing livery between a lawful and unlawful act? Says the person who used to restick different posters to the side of her plane, depending on whether or not they were being a circus or raiders.
If he's right, it's almost like they took a leaf out of your book.
Yeah, how great.
Amazing.
My leaves.
If
my
these
book.
guys, openly took this thing and made no effort to conceal who they were, I can only see
it's not them.
one. I can only see one reason for that, and that's because they want to make a name.
Yeah.
If they want to use this to establish themselves because they're a new crew and nobody's heard of them, then they're going to start making noise. We're going to hear about this real soon.
Yeah, young, enthusiastic, probably not deploying much in the way of forethought or planning for endgame.
So if that's what they're like, we're in the ideal position. We just we look for whatever I'd do.
I was trying to think of such a nice way not to say that. Couldn't come up with one. Okay. Right, so, what would you do?
What would I do?
Yeah, you have a small but valuable piece of experimental technology. What would you
Depends why I took it.
do? Mm-hmm.
If I'd stolen it to order, then I'd want to make a big noise about delivery, which, you know, the guys you're stealing it for might not like that, but if you steal it quiet and deliver it quiet, you don't get a rep, you don't get more work. If I'd stolen it on spec, then I'd want to make as big a demonstration as possible without losing the thing. That means flying it through a heavily populated area. You don't need to blow it up to demonstrate what it can do. You just need to make sure people see it in action. And if you don't have a specific buyer already, you want as many people as possible to see it. But they could still have stolen it to order.
It seems a little of a specialist target to have acquired randomly. How did they find out the prototype was there?
Yeah, you see, somebody had to know that this thing needed stealing. So if they've stolen it to order, they've got two choices, really.
A choice.
They keep
two
quiet.
options.
Yeah, whatever. They keep quiet and just take the money.
Mm-hmm.
Or they risk really peeing off their bosses by making a big noise at a delivery. Now, my guess would be that they'll go for something in between the two. Keep quiet till they've delivered it, then make a big noise. The problem with that is it doesn't really help us, because by the time we find out who they are, they ain't got it anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just BSing here. You got something more useful, then chime in.
I have nothing.
Is our goal to retrieve it or just prevent them from selling it on?
I believe they said they wanted it back, didn't they? Because that was the
They've
only
still
one they've
the
got.
plans.
At the
They
moment. They've
can
got,
make another
yeah.
one. But so destroying it would be a good fallback. Keeping it out of the hands of anybody else, they would be less happy, but not unhappy with that, I imagine, because they can, as I say, still build another one. Worst situation for them is if somebody else gets into a position where they can build another one,
Yeah.
or it gets used and there's fallback on them for building the thing in the first place.
Yeah, that would be a bad thing. Okay. So, we need to find if this crew is real. If not, find out who they're fronting for. See if they are sold to order. Or nose around and find out if someone's going to have a sale coming up.
Night, my friend.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you a question to which I think I already know the answer.
Okay.
In Skyhaven,
Mm-hmm.
is there a small but dedicated cadre of journalists specifically covering mercenaries and sky pirates?
Not really. Skyhaven is a haven, hence how it got the name. And were there to be such a small but dedicated cadre of journalists, it would be a bit too intrusive for those that wanted to rest, recuperate, refuel and rearm. So
It depends on how good a relationship they have with said journalists, really.
So such activity, at least openly, is discouraged. That said, there may be one or two undercover journalists who get the detail for their stories and sneak it out to be filtered out in newsrooms and broadsheets in other nations. But they would keep their activities covert.
Which makes them not much use to us because we don't know who they are.
Correct.
Everybody's too damn good at keeping secrets around here.
It's Skyhaven. People keep themselves to themselves because it's a safe place to be.
Okay, so we need to make it less safe.
We do?
We need to make people a little bit nervous.
No,
If people think something is under threat, they're going to want to move their most precious items first. If you're a dodgy crew who've just kidnapped something very valuable,
you've been reading that Conan Doyle guy again, haven't you?
actually no, but yeah, same sentiment.
So it's a scandal in Skyhaven.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of the best way to do it. I mean, a pitch
Problem with
battle
that-
over Skyhaven between the Medusas and the Top Hats would do it.
Oh no, that is, we still gotta find these guys because otherwise we've got to threaten the whole of Skyhaven somehow. We need to know roughly where they are.
Looks at her disadvantages. Curses. This is true. Damn you, cautious.
Realizes nobody took contacts, except I kind of did.
Yeah? Any
I've got
useful
friends
contacts?
in high places, they're just not useful here. It's low places I need friends in for this one.
Yeah, and unfortunately I'm wanted by the friends in low places, so there's a limit to what I can do.
Also, possibly the friends in high places.
Also possibly the
Yeah,
friends in
quite
high
possibly.
places. Largely I'm wanted by both sides of the law. This is always going to be entertaining. So, how do we want to do this, basically? Because I can't think of any way of finding this thing other than unless Merlin hits on something technological as a solution, as a tracking device.
We'd have to get real lucky with that because they'd have to be using it.
Yeah. If we go for a search by air, we're going to have to get lucky. because-
Powered by atomic power, in which case we might be able to find it.
Just look for the
Giant
glowing
bouncer.
airship.
Yeah. So basically, we're going to have to get lucky if we're looking for the planes on the ground, or a Zeppelin. We're going to have to get lucky if they're using it, if we're trying to track them using their radio frequencies. And we're going to have to get lucky if we try and nose around and look for anyone who might have tech to sell. Or we offer ourselves as people with tech to buy, or with information to buy.
I just had an idea, but I don't think you're gonna like it.
Tell me, I will remain calm.
If this crew is trying to make a name for themselves, they're also gonna need to protect that name. If they're trying to keep quiet until they've made delivery,
I'll get the
then they're
things.
gonna need to protect that quiet. So yeah, what if we paint Nelly with their logo, and I make a big noise?
Yep.
Bring them to us.
Yeah, saw where you were going with that, and to be honest, I see this as a plan with no downside.
Yeah, if it goes wrong, they kill Chuck. You have nothing to lose.
No problem with this. I don't think that's a bad idea at all.
Out of character, because Chuck would not think of this. The potential downside to this is that Chuck already does have something of a rep, which means it's really easy to trace him back to us.
Yeah, unfortunately, Chuck is not the one it's probably best to do this with.
But he's the one best able
But he's the one best able
to make the noise.
Yeah.
Because he can fly down the streets of Skyhaven,
Yeah.
where people
I'm-
can see the logo nice and clearly.
I'm not necessarily thinking that that would be a good idea to do in the Marquette. Let's put it that way.
I'm not sure it's such a good idea to do it in Nelly either, actually, because Nelly's pretty distinctive.
The auto driver?
We just got an
Blockbuster.
excuse to steal a plane!
Yes.
Like a crop dust.
Yeah, he is grinning. His grin meets at the back when he says that.
Keeps
Oh,
our
my word.
assets safe. Saves his reputation. Saves my reputation. Yeah, okay. Any target in particular?
Well,
Mickey's thrill.
let's see. Who around here might have some planes handy that we could steal and repaint? What about those tough hat guys?
I think you'll find they keep most of them on their Zeppelin if they're not actually in them. Are you saying we infiltrate the Top
true.
Hat Zeppelin? Or do we wait until they've landed and
That
gone
might
drinking?
be tricky. I don't think we know where their Zeppelin is.
Okay. Alternative, and I know where their Zeppelin is. I'm not necessarily telling you. Also, best not to bite off more than you can chew. However, you do know where there's a crop duster. Unless you're
Junker?
saying that you couldn't do the kind of trick flying that you would like in an inferior machine. Perhaps your skills are not up to it.
I can fly anything, but the plane might not be up to it. Plus, and this is important. Actually, I don't know. Maybe this might work. I was thinking, we need a decent plane to make this thing work because nobody's going to buy that they're using a
No, it's a crappy piece of plane
a
that will bugger
POS
their
like
back.
that. But now I think about it, yeah, if we don't even need to make that big a noise with it if we're using that. We just need people to realize that it's got their logo on, you know?
Yeah.
If they think that they're getting a reputation for flying worn out old junkers like that, they're never going to get any work that way. Yeah, that could
Yeah.
work. It's not as much fun, but it could work.
So, you know where they keep it. Hi there.
Yeah.
Hi there.
I know where they keep it.
I just caught up with Knight's chat. Oops. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Wish I'd seen that before I suggested the crop duster. Okay. So, we need a couple of panels with the Raven logo, which we can then just attach onto the tail fin of the crop duster immediately prior to stealing it. Down the side as well. So, is it traditional for tail fin only, or do we want side logo?
We're going to need a logo on the. It's going to be the fuselage. Isn't
Yeah.
It? It's going to be definitely a logo on the fuselage.
Okay. So, Robinson's getting into his game now.
Yeah. Now, Chuck would not think of this, but what would be a really good mod for you to make is we need to paint this up to not look so shitty. Because if they were using crappy planes like this, they would still they'd try and hide the
It's
fact
a
that they are.
crop duster,
What
right?
we need is we need panels that will fall off on command.
I was thinking.
So you flick a
going
switch in
for,
the
like,
cockpit and a
smoke
panel
coming
falls
out of
off.
the crop
Yeah.
duster.
Oh yeah,
If
I
you
mean,
wanted to make it look as bad as possible, I was thinking fake smoke coming out of what would be for dusting the
Oh
crops.
yeah, mix up something in the
you just
spray thing.
you
That's
just
cool.
want to be able to do the trail leaving.
Yeah.
A trail of smoke.
Can we definitely not get 2 of these so that we can do all the fancy fly pasts?
Oh god, it's not the
It's
red
the
arrows.
dead arrows.
Yeah. It's the
I
red
think
Nerf
Mickey's got it.
guns.
We need to make a crap duster out of it.
Yeah. First thing, in that case, we need to nick it.
Yeah.
Because the
Well, that's
easiest
easy
way
enough.
to do
We know
this
where
work,
it is.
yeah, is you steal it, bring it up here, and then we can work on it in safety.
Now we've got something resembling a plan. I will leave you to work that out while I take a quick comfort break. Back in a moment.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, we know where it is.
Is it worth fitting the radio tracking device to it anyway?
I think it's worth building a radio tracking device.
I was
If
thinking
you-
on the opposite end, there's also, I could build a jamming device for that frequency to interfere.
I like the way you think. I think that's a lovely idea.
That would require you to know the frequency first.
This is the
That's a
thing.
key piece of information you do
Yeah.
not have. They
No,
haven't
I
given
check
you
it.
the full schematics. They've just given you enough to work with.
Yeah.
They've been very, very careful about not giving
No,
you the
they-
key
what-
parts.
What, now, they'll still technically be using telegrams, right, around this time?
Yep. That was how the whole thing started. You got a telegram.
So do they have telegraphs? Because telegraphs broadcast over every radio frequency,
Yes.
Oh god.
which means just sending a telegraph creates a jamming signal.
That is
Which
doable.
does-
That,
which-
that that might confuse any air traffic
Of course,
control.
that affects everyone,
Yes.
so it might not be very popular, but we're not trying to be popular with this fly pass, are we?
This is also true.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. So far our plan is to piss everybody off as much as possible
Yeah.
and really throw mud at the reputation of this new crew. Oh, bless their little cotton socks. Oh, they're gonna hate us.
They are absolutely going to hate you.
Yeah.
The problem with this enhanced version of the plan, where I'm not barnstorming with their logo on,
Yeah.
is we're back to it and to Chuck not being the right person for it, because by definition what we're going to need is for whoever it is to be in one place with the plane so that these guys can find them. The
I thought you
obvious
were
thing
going
there-
to be barnstorming in their plane, in this plane.
Now you see that now would go the wrong way. The idea now is to make them look like an incompetent crowd. So we don't want to do any fancy flying. If we do fancy flying, they look competent. More so in a crap plane. People might not want to hire the crew, but they might want to hire the pilot.
Have you ever considered flying like you're drunk?
Have you seen him fly while he is drunk? Because that happened
Yeah.
earlier.
Flies much the same. Hey, I fly better when I've had a few.
Yeah. I wonder how long it would take to paint up a couple of jackets.
Yeah, you see, because I think this is what we need, really. We need the pilot to be pretending to be one of them, which largely is going to mean flying into town noticeably in crappy plane, and then go to a bar or something. And unfortunately, the bar's kind of no Chuck.
The bar's kind of no Chuck. Masha was in briefly, but she hasn't really been doing the big thing. Unfortunately, the person who is least recognisable,
Also the worst at this kind of
also
thing.
the worst at this kind of thing.
This episode usually comes 3 or 4 episodes into the series, doesn't it? Where the techie has to go out and do the undercover work. You've had a few episodes to establish characters before that happens.
I don't have the flying skill either. So
Yeah, but you've got the blueprints for a remote control device.
Then he can't fly.
He can't fly. No,
So
you don't
yeah,
have to.
I fly you in by remote control.
It's not such a terrible idea. I wish it
I
was.
want to try
It is a terrible idea.
It's not the same.
No, wait, I am all for this because that would mean my remote control device is better than their remote control device.
Because it's on a real plane.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Could you do it?
But then we won't be able to do the jamming device idea.
True.
Because then
I mean,
we
we
won't be
could
going anywhere.
split the difference. We could try and attract attention with barnstorming. The person who is seen in public associated with the plane does not necessarily have to be
We're using the crop duster is 2-seater, right?
The crop duster is 2-seater.
So couldn't someone else fly? And
All I've
then
got to do
I'd
is
be the one
land
who goes
it
into
out
the
of
bar.
sight
Yeah.
and then hide, so that when people come to see what's going on, Merlin gets out of the pilot seat.
Yeah. Yes. If you want to try for some verisimilitude, I'm quite happy to chase and fake shoot at you.
This is getting better. I love it.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. What if they what if they accidentally fell for it and thought we really were one of their crew? Then the crew might come after you instead of going after us because you were shooting at one of them.
Well, we'd find
Or
them.
even if they realised we were a fake, they would tip
Yeah.
them off that you were interested in them. Why
This
are you
is
shooting
true.
at one of them?
This is true.
Or if somebody thought was one of them. You'd need to
I just-
disguise that plane as well.
I just wanted the opportunity to shoot at you. But it's just...
Could we disguise your plane as a top hat? Start a fight between the new crew and the top hats, and then just walk in and take the drone.
From the smoking wreckage of these poor bastards.
Yep. You know, that I like that plan.
Actually, I quite like that plan as well. Wouldn't be the first time I've flown under false flag, so...
So the question that has to be asked there is, do the top hats have any maquettes? And even if they don't, how common is that plane?
Yeah.
Is it pretty easy to track back to you because you're the only person in Skyhaven flying one, for example? I mean, I'm reasonably sure that Nellie's probably the only Dawson Dagger in Skyhaven. Or at least that there's like 3.
Yeah, I was about to say, what, one of 2 or 3? Not necessarily the only one, but certainly one of 2 or 3. And the same would be
Yeah.
said of the maquette. The Stalwart is an older aircraft. More common aircraft that would be sighted doing the same role around here would be things like the McDonnell Douglas Kestrel.
I wonder if anyone's landed a Kestrel at the airstrip.
You're back on the idea of borrowing somebody's plane again, aren't you?
Uh-huh. I am.
I need to learn how to fly. I think that's the first thing I'm going to be doing with my chip soon.
Yeah, new skill. Okay. So, first thing we need to do is steal the crop duster. Because that is the one plane we know we have to work on.
Yeah, there's definitely going to need to be some work on the Crop Duster. So I say we do that as soon as it gets dark.
Where exactly is it?
There's a farm just outside on the edges of Skyhaven with a barn. Well, I left it outside the barn. I'm assuming they put it back in.
Okay. So, can you do it on your own? Would you like backup? Basically,
Well,
how
someone-
good are you outside a plane?
Someone to keep watch might be useful.
Okay.
I suppose I'm going to make sure it can actually still fly.
Yeah.
That's a good point. It may not get off the ground.
Okay,
He
so
did
the
a little
two...
coaxing last time.
Yeah. So that puts the two of you on Operation Steel Plane.
We're just billing them. We're billing the plane for having fixed
Absolutely.
their plane.
We
You
built
sent
them
in
for
the
services.
bailiffs
They have
really
not
early.
responded. They've not yet paid us. So
We
we're
are
retrieving the
repossessing
item
the.
until such time as we receive the monies owed.
Can't pay, we'll take it away.
Love it.
I'm gonna have to go and get another bottle of drink. I can't believe it's just gone to a litre.
I mean, really, there is no particular reason we can't give it back afterwards.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
We're only borrowing it,
You're only borrowing it.
and we're making more repairs to it. So,
Yeah.
fair exchange.
As I say,
Upgrades.
let's not get ahead of ourselves. So,
But that's my life. I spend my whole life gunning the engine in the hope that one day I'll get ahead of myself.
and this is why.
Is the
Has
sand
me
barrier
calling
hasn't
the
broken
shots.
At this point, has it?
Sorry?
The sand barrier hasn't been broken at this
No.
point, has it?
No.
Nowhere near.
No. Oh
New
god.
plan.
No, about the closest is going to be about Mach 0.6, maybe?
Yeah, somewhere around there. We're looking
Okay.
at over 200 miles an hour more needed, based on the numbers you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
if a plane like the Dawson Dagger goes full pelt into a dive, it'll hit about 0.6.
And then the ground.
And then the ground, yeah. At that speed, things start cooling down very, very rapidly. Controls tend to stick. It gets really unpleasant for the pilot. Some
And
of the
something
early...
that is designed for speed isn't as good at pulling out of that dive
Yeah.
as something that is designed with less speed but more aerobatic ability.
Yeah, I mean, it is a problem that real-world World War II fighters encountered as they approached Mach 1. The P-38 was very prone in a high-speed dive to freezing up, to the point that they called the aircraft the Ice Maiden.
okay.
Was it the Typhoon where the wings kept falling off?
Early Typhoons had that problem, yes.
Yeah, because it was originally designed as for dogfighting, and it proved not to be able to handle the stresses of that. The wings would tear
Yeah,
off. So
it was far
ended
better
up
for
as a
ground attack.
low-level, ground attack because that it could handle.
Bebu, hello.
Bebu.
Good evening to you.
Oh, it's you.
It's a lie. It's not him at all.
Okay.
It's
So-
you.
It could be
How
you.
have you been?
So, who's going where this evening? And thank you for the follow, Bebu. Thank you.
Woo.
You've
Sticking with my
exactly
cats,
right. I have no clue. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names at the best of times. Oh,
Ah,
hello. How are you?
Bebu.
and now we know who you
Yes.
Yes. No, there were so many people flinging business
yeah.
cards.
There was business cards going everywhere. It was like sat in some kind of ninja shuriken fight with business cards.
I was thinking more along the lines of the Crystal Maze, you know, at the end where
Oh,
they
yeah.
fling all the tokens into the air.
Yes.
are. No, I like Knight's idea. If a company somewhere starts printing business cards in the shape of shuriken, I think they will make a fortune.
Demo for new project.
Yeah. I kind of came away from there with. I mean, these are the business cards that I still haven't had a chance to look at yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a stack. They're
Yeah.
currently in my bag en masse and need dividing up
Oh,
into
thank you, Bebu.
categories.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
Excellent.
So what you've walked into tonight is the once a week D&D stream. Myself, Himfishy, Drut, and our friend Robinson here sit down and play Dungeons and Dragons or any of the other similarly tabletop role-playing games
Yeah.
on stream. So we're currently sat in the an alternate 1930s, where America is now, instead of a bunch of states, a bunch of separate independent nations because the states have fragmented. Travel is all done by aircraft and dirigible, and it's all very sort of pulp Sky Captain.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is it Sky Captain in the world of yesterday?
Something like that, yeah.
Tomorrow. Yes. Okay. So we need to get you two down to the plane so that you can steal it.
Yep, not a problem.
But your plane's only got one seat. Mine, I think the Marquette has two, doesn't it?
The Marquette, yours,
Yeah.
3.
It has turrets, so I can hope so.
Yours would be a
Can I-
3-seater. You'd have
So
pilot,
I can
navigator,
get-
and gunner.
Oh, so yeah, I could take us all down in the Marquette then, and you two could slope off to commit grand theft crop duster. Don't knock it.
Crop duster needs a
And
name.
I can then get the plane back to the dirigible.
I'm
Sounds
waiting for somebody to determine the flaw in this stealing plan, because I'm not going to tell you what it is, because Chuck would no way notice it.
What? The plane has been moved or destroyed?
No. No, we can steal it fine. It's what comes after that where the problem comes in. But you'll see. It'll be interesting.
I would hope that we can dock it in our landing bay.
that would require it having the necessary apparatus on the top wing.
It's just a hook, right? I'm sure I can make a hook.
How hard? Yeah. Given that you've probably replaced it repeatedly,
What is a hook?
how hard would it be to attach the hook?
If it doesn't have one, don't forget that hook has to suspend the entire gross weight of the aircraft,
Yeah.
which means it needs to be
It
strengthened.
has to be presumably correctly positioned.
Yes.
And ideally tested in circumstances that don't involve me plummeting to my death if it goes wrong. But we're not going to get a chance for any of that.
No. It has to work once before you get it into the landing bay. Just the once. And a really good pilot would be able to do that.
I know what you're doing.
Do?
See, it works the other way around.
I'm-
It's
I'm
a
not
really
an
good
idiot.
engineer with get
I know when you're trying to make me do this just to prove I can. I don't need to prove I can. I don't need to prove anything. I'm the best damn pilot you ever saw.
Midas, I would
We
never
both know
ask Midas, I would never ask you to prove anything. Certainly not to yourself, who is your own biggest critic. I realize
So-
this. You have
so which are we gonna do?
nothing really to prove.
We are we going to bring it back to the Zeppelin, or are we going to take it somewhere away from the Zeppelin and work on it there so nobody can see it?
Yeah.
Because if you want me to bring it back here, I can bring it back here. You just put a hook on it. I'll bring it back here. But people might see it. You're going to need to turn the lights off.
Oh yeah, that would really make you flying it back even simpler, wouldn't it?
And that's the flaw I was waiting for someone to notice. One way or another, he has to land it in the dark.
Yeah.
Surely that would make him the best pilot you'd never seen.
Yeah. Under those circumstances, it absolutely would.
We could give him flares or flashlights.
Yeah, if you're far enough outside, if the landing strip is far enough outside Skyhaven, you can arrange something that won't be visible from a distance.
Okay, Knight, did I see when I pootled off to follow those top hats?
Mm-hmm.
Did I see anywhere that looked like a likely spot away from the wrecks that form the community?
Oh god, there's loads of little areas that have been used for dastardly deeds, subterfuge, handovers of small boxes, all sorts. There's dozens of such areas all over the place. It's almost as if Skyhaven was built for pirates, smugglers, and ne'er-do-wells. Which pretty much it was.
What gave you that impression?
Yeah. Okay, so if there is a specific place that leaps out at me, I am going to give directions to that. I would suggest what Masha does is if I take you down, drop you off, and you guys can deal with stealing the plane with any necessary immediate repairs. And I will take flares and the Marquette to where I deem a landing strip.
Yeah, I mean,
It
what are
can
your
be
requirements?
done.
Landing strips
When you
are...
say where I deem a landing strip, we're going to need to know in advance where that landing strip is.
As I
I'm not
did
going to fly around
say-
all night looking for some flares.
I did say I would give you directions. This is why I was thinking if there was anywhere I'd already seen. I can point it out to you so
Night,
you know
what
where you're
time of
going.
day is it?
At the moment, ooh, I don't know. Let's say, let's pick a card at random and see where that puts us in the 24-hour
We
clock,
haven't actually
roughly.
done that much yet.
Haven't done that much, but there's been a lot of
Depends what
discussing.
when we started,
Um,
doesn't it?
Yeah, well, everything started in the morning. You were doing your morning routine and dry runs when Armin arrived,
Yeah.
and everything happened. So, it is fairly late in the evening by now. So you're definitely
probably
under cover
a
of
bit
darkness
late.
right now.
To try and find a suitable place aerially.
This is why I was wondering if it was somewhere that I could identify, because I can fly you over it on the way in
And then drop us. Yeah.
and then drop you. So then you'll know roughly where you're headed. So basically, I'll be waiting until morning.
Question for you, Drake. Your requirement for your landing strip, was it just a landing strip? That was the only requirement?
It needed like a hangar in
Let's
type
just go
place as well.
doesn't it, really?
Sorry? Fish?
It just needs to be a flat bit, reasonably well hidden from Skyhaven. doesn't it?
Yeah.
I suppose we do, with a place like this, have to worry about people flying over the top of it, though.
Yeah. I'm wondering about rigging up a tent cover to cover the ship, or cover the plane while it's being worked on. If we can rig if I can rig a canvas in advance, then you can move the plane onto there.
I'm trying to find out any way that we could work this without taking it out of the damn barn. It's hidden in the barn.
It's hidden in the barn, but at least one person knows what it is.
Yeah.
So unless
That's
you're planning on
right.
kidnapping the girl who you fixed it for,
She does owe me answers.
you are not going to kidnap the girl you fixed it for. Can we get one crime out of the way at a time? And that's a quote.
That is definitely a quote. Could,
Yeah,
could
that
someone
is.
quote that in my chat, please? Someone who knows Phantom Bot, because I can never remember the damn command.
It's just add quote, isn't it?
I don't know. I have mods for that.
Yes.
Only thing being, they're
yes,
actually
add
playing.
quote, and then the quote.
Yeah. Right.
I can't remember whether the person who said it goes at the beginning or the end.
Yeah, it's been too long since I've been to Scotland. I need to do that
I think
again
with
sometime.
Phantom Bot, you change that afterwards. You just
You
put
do.
the quote in.
Yeah, and then change the
use,
Edit.
quote,
Quote.
edit or edit quote or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, I had a custom command for my quotes. It was archive.
Fine.
I'm twitchy at the term archive. Okay.
So, are you gonna give it a go under cover of darkness now, or wait till morning and plan further, or is there something?
Okay. Merlin, can you spend part of the night going through those blueprints and looking at radio frequencies that you might need for tracking or blocking device?
Mhm.
Get a good
That's easy
understanding of that. We can do the work on the flight suit because it's an open cockpit. You're going to need 2 flight jackets with the Raven logo painted on. We can do that work overnight. Because that's going to be part of our maintenance gear. So we can get that done overnight, Fish.
Yeah.
So we won't be wasting the time. And then in the morning I can scope out somewhere good. And
Once you've
then
got
you
it
can
into
go steal
this
it.
semi-secure location, what are the modifications you're going to make?
right.
Just so I can get an idea of amount of time to be
Yeah.
ready for its desired task.
Fuselage, two sides fuselage painting for the logo. Tail fin painting.
I think we're going to want to repaint the whole fuselage.
You reckon the whole thing?
Yeah, but we're going to need to paint it in something neutral because we don't know, other than the logo, what livery these guys use.
Okay.
So it can't be too distinctive a paint job, or that blows the whole gaff.
So
But on the other hand, if it looks like it hasn't been flown in years, nobody's going to do that. Even if they've got a crappy plane, they're still going to give it a nice lick of paint.
Battleship Grey will probably be the cheapest
Something
and
like
quickest way
Battleship
to do it.
Grey,
Yeah.
Which is probably what we've got the bad debt painted in, so we should have some lying around.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I figure that this is why I'm reckoning we're not going to have to go too far to get hold of the paint and gear and stuff, because we're basically off to black, white, and now grey.
Yeah.
I'm assuming medallion effectively to give a contrast for the black.
Yeah,
So
that would
white
make
circle,
sense. A
black
white circle with the
the raven.
logo on it, yeah.
Yeah. And we
I
take it
assume
from
that
there.
as it's been presented to us, it is just the bird. There
That's all that's been given. No one's mentioned anything about it being inside a medallion or in a diamond or in any other kind of geometric shape. But then you also haven't been told what the base colours of the aircraft that it was seen on were. You were just
Yeah,
given
precisely.
the bird.
This is what I was saying about being something neutral, because we don't know what else it's painted, what they're painted with.
Is the Weasley little man still down in our...
He hasn't
Hold.
returned from the storeroom. He may be in the heads crapping himself after your overall. Or he may actually be counting every round of ammunition in the stores.
Excellent.
Well,
And
we need to go to the storeroom anyway, so we can see if he's
We
there.
do. Yeah,
We've got to fish some stuff out.
we will do that. Yep, let's head down there then.
Yeah, you get down to the storeroom, and there he is with belts of ammunition and a checklist, and
He really
Yes.
is.
he really is bean counting everything.
Ah.
He certainly didn't hear you walk in. Or if he did, he's blatantly ignoring you.
What was his name again?
Try and
Armin.
walk up behind him very
Armin.
quietly, and unless Masha spoils it, I'm then going to say right behind him, did you count the paint?
You
Do
beat
you-
me to it, fish.
Do you have any such stealth skill?
Everybody gets
Sneak.
a die of sneak.
Yep.
Give it a roll.
Where it is.
Everyone's rolling sneak.
Everyone is rolling sneak.
Yeah.
Well, everyone that's going down there to
That
hassle
poor
Armin
guy.
is anyway.
Where the
Poor
hell
Armin.
is Sneak?
Sneaking is. Hang on the other side.
Nimbleness
Nimbleness.
Nimbleness.
down the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone gets a base one
Nimbleness
die
down
of
the
sneak.
bottom. There we go. I'm reasonably good at nimbleness. I've only got one die, but...
Yeah,
let's see
1d12.
what we can do. Oh look, we're explodifying.
Holy crap!
So,
I
yeah.
can't sneak to save my life, but
I'm 21 sneaky on a D12.
Oh, Jesus wept.
Oh, that's no fair. I'm only 22.
Dun, 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 dun.
Oh
Only-
dear, that's better than 21.
I was just going to say.
Lazarus, that's a
Yeah.
critical.
Oh my word.
I think I rolled
No,
pretty
it
well
wasn't.
for 1d6.
So who,
12 and a
who
10.
gets to speak first out of the pair of you? That's the interesting thing.
Oh, this was largely so he didn't hear my heels. So frankly, it's going to be Chuck doing the talking. That stealth check was so he didn't hear the heels that go with her leather flight suit. because
Right.
So
Smasher
no
just
clues
is.
at all that Chuck is standing right behind him.
No
and he's
clue
gonna speak
at all.
Straight into his ear.
Yep. I've already scared him once today. It's your go.
So you utter your words, and he screams incredibly loudly, clearly
Yeah.
terrified. He doesn't just drop the pad and pencil that he's working with; he launches both across the room, causing
Got
you
it
to
in
duck to
space,
avoid
that's
getting a
so-
pencil in the eye.
Such a letdown.
What the?
I have a terrible feeling that Chuck might be doing something similar, though. He's got no points in guts at all.
Nor did this guy.
I'm just going to make a quick min roll. 6. That's not too bad. He
That's
probably
fine.
didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, grab him, Chuck. Just
Okay.
slightly jumped.
Why the... Do you not knock?
Why? We live here.
This is our house.
I'm
You
sorry,
live in
you
the
seem a little
storeroom?
nervous. You seem a little nervous. We didn't want to disturb you with your counting.
Congratulations, you failed. I'm very disturbed.
I apologise. I
Okay,
realise this
we-
is a stressful job.
Boss, can we put in a complaint because they've sent somebody to audit us and who has admitted to being disturbed?
Now, I think that's getting a little excessive. I'm sure he just he needs to get to know us to be friendly. So, Armin, a little more detail, if you will, on the theft which you would like us to investigate.
Yes, Miss
If you have
Solomonski?
it. The planes. Those pretty little raven planes. What colour were they?
I wasn't there. I didn't see. I just have the information that I gave you. They had the bird logo.
Just the logo.
No one told me what planes they were, what colour they were. Just it's.
Would you be able to ask anybody who might know?
I did as much asking as I could before I came down, and all I was told was that people only remembered the logo. They didn't. They were too busy trying to, I guess, memorize the logo. They didn't pay attention to everything around it.
In that case, I'd say we're in the clear. We can pretty much paint it any neutral colour we damn well like.
It
I'm
ain't too distinctive, or they'd have noticed it.
You what?
Investigations are in progress.
Oh, good. Do you have any idea how long this is going to take? Because
Less long than it did an hour ago, and probably sometime extending after that.
right.
More time than it would if your information was any use at all.
Now,
I-
it's not Armin's fault. Armin, I'm sure, is a lovely man.
No, I know. He's just a guy, just doing his job. But they
Correctly
didn't
painted.
give him any useful information.
No,
It's not his fault, no, but it's still true.
no.
Thank you. Yes, exactly.
Armin is doing a good job. She'll slip her arm around his shoulder at this point.
He
Armin
tenses
is
a
doing
little bit at
good
that.
job under difficult circumstances.
Yes, yes.
Just waiting for her to give Armin a cookie.
Yep.
Maybe tuck him into bed with a glass of warm milk. Or
A glass of warm cyanide, I think, is more likely off Masha. Just combination mother and terrifying.
I kind of feel sorry for poor Armin at the moment.
What? I do, kind of. I really do.
After the near heart attack that Chuck
Character,
just
I
gave him.
suppose I do.
Near heart attack, having been intimidated already. Bless his little heart. Which is now doing about 200 BPM.
Yeah. It'll be a while before he works out where he got to and then starts counting as to where he lost count from.
That's okay. Right, grab the paint
We grab the paint.
and we're going to want probably a couple of spare flight suits if we're going to pull this off. Because we're going to have to
'cause we
paint.
will need something with no logos, no identifying marks.
Yeah. Okay,
You could just rip the patches off your existing flight suits. But if you have
Could.
spares, then that works
but
too.
if we have spares, it
Yeah.
makes more sense. Okay. So. I think we've got an art project to do, and Merlin is set up for a little light reading tonight, for which he's probably thrilled.
I'm quite happy with all-nighters.
Yes, but how are you at reading?
Reading's fine.
Good.
I mean, I have like the equivalent of 2 degrees in physics and engineering. I should hope I can read.
Yeah, one would definitely hope so. Excuse me,
Yeah.
so folks, I just dropped a card under the desk.
Whoopsie. Okay, I'm going to take a brief comfort break and go and find something more to drink. So, assuming that that's what we're doing, our next is going to be basically transcribing that logo.
Okay. Well, you've got to
Over.
you've got to hijack the plane first.
Yeah, we can get the stuff on
Does
the
any of us have
clothes.
any artistic talent at all?
Shit.
Define artistic talent.
Hang on.
Professional
Relevant to
artist.
painting a logo.
I'm not seeing anything arty among the base skills, so I'm going to be looking for a professional artist or trade artist,
Yeah.
or something suitably arty.
It's going to be.
Black
In this
stuff.
game, I would usually say that would be. I don't know actually.
I'm
D&D
in-
terms, it'd be a craft skill.
Yeah.
But we don't have craft.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to say it's going to be an untrained use of the professional skill
Or trade.
or trade,
Problem
which is
with
under the
that
same.
Which is the same.
It's based entirely then on knowledge. It has nothing to do with whether you have, for example, a steady hand and good hand-eye coordination to bring this. That's always the
Yeah.
downside with systems like this.
Well, the thing is, you don't have to roll all the skills under the same. Stat.
Alternatively, performing.
Yeah. Performing would
Black is
have moments.
Either way, if you want to take a comfort break, then
Yeah.
by all means do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys argue amongst yourselves. But yeah, bear in mind you can roll the skill on a different stat if you want. They're happy with that. Right, back in the boat.
Take a look at the aptitudes and see if I can find anything that already
Yeah.
says it covers such things.
There may well be such.
I mean, if I look at, for example, profession and trade to see whether the examples they give include such things. Hmm. Looking at the examples they do give, I think if you're looking at art in terms of graphic design rather than art in terms of making art, that would certainly come under trade, because
Yeah.
it includes things like carpentry in the examples. So that would definitely be a trade.
Bear with us, folks, while
I
we
think art's
scan the
just-
rule book.
Yeah, art for art's sake just isn't covered by the game system.
No.
So probably trade, yeah. But I would be, at least for unskilled, I'd be inclined to allow probably nimbleness to be used on the basis that, as I say, you know, hand-eye or maybe deafness. Actually, how do they define them?
Hang on a minute. We're all talking absolutely...
For anybody wondering, yes, I am overthinking this.
Yeah, we're all overthinking this. Look at cognition. What's directly underneath artillery?
Arts is under cognition, and we all didn't see it. Until well done.
Painting, sculpting, and sketching.
I just looked through the skills list and didn't see it. Yep, there it is.
Cognition.
Yeah, there we go.
I figured it had to be there somewhere. It took 3 of us to miss it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Control F, Control. And just searching through the entire book for art. Next. Oh, art! There we go. Where's that sit? Underneath artillery. Right. So whichever of you is looking to do this, it's going to be a untrained cognition.
Probably going to work out as being Merlin, I'm guessing. What's your cognition, Merlin?
My cognition is. Okay, that's off the top.
I've got a horrible feeling it's going to end up being Midas.
My cognition
Minus.
is 46.
Oh. It's got more dice than me, but I get a better die tonight.
I didn't actually have much under skills for cognition, so it's sort of throwaway.
46 is a throwaway. Okay then.
Well, like there's like 1d6 for vigor. But as opposed to the other ones, like 4d8 or 4d12.
Okay, so the number of dice is irrelevant for an unskilled check. It's always one die and at -4. So 1d6 -4 is not going to give a good result.
No.
Unless...
Unless you actually have anything in the
unless
art skill.
Madonna has a d12 in cognition, it looks like it's going to be Midas.
She does.
She does.
She does.
In that case, yeah, it's going to be her.
Masha, yeah, she is D12's in cognition.
Okay. Was there by any chance a football match in which Russia was involved today?
I don't know, possibly.
What are you asking me for?
I don't think any of
This
the
is a
four of us
D&D
actually
stream.
follow
What
soccer.
are the odds of any of us knowing about a football match?
No, somebody is outside shouting with a very powerful Russian accent insults at one of my neighbours
Oh,
and
lovely.
chanting
You sure they're
Russia.
not- You sure they're not throwing them at you because they've heard you playing Masha?
It's possible.
Tempted to open the window and yell out to ask if people have ever considered not being a knob in that accent.
Yeah, that might be considered asking for trouble.
It could be.
It might be,
could
yeah.
be. Right, we found arts within the game system. It is a cognition skill,
Okay.
which I think largely makes you the best place to do the artistry.
Oh, wacko. It's still untrained, so yay.
Yeah.
So I'm rolling on half of a d12.
No, you're rolling on one die at -4.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
So 1d12
I was being too
-4.
harsh.
Yeah, 1d12 -4.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
No,
It's just always one die, no matter how many you normally get.
Yeah. I remember.
But they've still got to steal the plane yet, so you don't need to do it just yet.
Sport. They do, however, explode, don't they?
Yes.
Good.
What, planes? Yeah, frequently.
Especially if you put high explosive rounds in the fuel tank. That's great for making them explode.
Oh my god. I'm making them all now because I'm just curious now.
You're up to 30 what?
Well, I'm currently on 36 because it's still going.
Jesus wept.
Bloody hell.
-4, obviously.
At that point, the minus. So, as far as stealing the plane goes, what's the plan?
That's a total of 38, including the -4 penalty.
So,
Jesus
as far as
wept.
stealing the plane goes, if we just go on foot, how far away, how long would it take us to get
Oh
there?
god, it's a long walk from where you are.
Yeah.
You had to fly to the bar that you were at previously,
Yeah.
and it was a walk from the bar. So
We're going to need Masha to fly. The problem is, you've got what, 2 seats in that plane? do you?
no, she's got
I've
3.
got 3 because I've
Oh,
got
she's
the
got
turret.
3.
Yep.
In that case, yeah, you if you fly us out to somewhere nearby and then just head straight back.
Yeah.
In fact, no, you can't head straight back. You'll have to hang around and bring Merlin back.
There's 2 seats in the crop duster.
All right, then I'll bring Merlin back. Merlin then. So yeah, you just drop us off and head straight back, and leave the rest to us. It will
Yep.
all be fine. What could
If I
possibly go wrong?
overfly my chosen landing location,
Mhm.
then you'll know where you're headed when you've stolen the plane.
Yeah, true.
That works.
Okay. And I will take ropes and canvas with me.
And then just head straight to the landing location after you've dropped us off. Yeah, brilliant. And it'll all be fine because it's just an impulsive, hot-headed 18-year-old and a nerd stealing a plane. What could go wrong?
I'm trying really hard not to think of it in those terms because her cautious disadvantage is really kicking in at this stage. I'm trusting you. I'm trusting that you at least have fear of me. Please don't
I'm
screw
stealing
it
a
up.
plane. Borrowing. I'm borrowing a plane.
Acquiring a plane.
I can do anything with a plane.
I would do
So-
anything for flight.
You're flying over to where the plane is. You've given a flyover over your chosen landing strip to do the modification work. You've landed
You want to do it there?
near the bar. You've dropped your 2 passengers off and taking straight off again, are you?
Yeah, I will take off because I've got to go back to the.
And start setting up the canvas.
I've got to go back to the Zeppelin, pick up things like the canvas and stuff, which would not fit in while I've got passengers in the cabin.
It would.
And oh yeah, okay. In that case,
It's
if
a
it would,
big
then I
plane.
will.
You've got there is a small amount of cargo space.
Oh, if I can use that, then yeah.
It is a. There is an advantage and presumably a reason you chose this big hulking beast of a plane. It's got 3
It's a good
seats.
pirate plane.
There's a
because you can
little
put
bit of
stuff-
cargo
you can put
space.
Stolen stuff in it.
Yeah, not a vast amount, but one moderate-sized crate's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So yeah,
okay.
fitting all the tools and paints and stuff in before you set off is absolutely believable and acceptable. It will fit.
Cool.
So you're heading straight to the.
Bye, Mom.
And I say I haven't got any eyebrows.
So, over to the felons.
Now, Merlin, you remember what being quiet is, right?
It's coming from
Yes.
the human loudspeaker.
We need this coming from the 21 stealth roll guy.
Yeah, fair play.
Just out of interest, what time of day are you doing this? Because you've slept through the night. Are you doing it first thing in the morning, midday,
Oh, did we sleep? Yeah, we slept through the night, didn't we?
Yeah,
or did you not?
We worked part of the night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
prepping and getting stuff ready.
Yeah.
It's entirely up to Masha. We will go when Masha wants us to go, because if it's down to Chuck, he'll just go straight away.
Okay, if we assume that I'm loading up the plane
Yep.
in the morning, and then I'll take a circuitous route after I've overflown the landing strip. I would say afternoon.
Mid-afternoon is what we're looking
yeah,
at.
mid-afternoon, because I would like you taking off towards dusk. When vision is least certain for anyone watching.
Yeah, huh?
But you're going to want daylight for any work that needs to be done to make the plane flight worthy. Seem
Are
reasonable?
we doing the fake smoke trail?
Not yet. That's something you can do once it is undercover and safe.
No, that's what I mean. I was just writing a list of things I needed to do.
Got a to-do
He's
list.
got a little list, and none of them do this.
Yeah, just if he gets too arsey, just flip and be fine. There's no cockpit. Yes, Merlin, if Midas straps in, strap in.
Your little list there. Oh, for some reason, I've become Antipodean.
I'm not sure where that's going. Then my Antipodean accent goes off into fucking France, and then suddenly it's off into Elenia, and then it's a totally
Oh
different
my
accent.
god!
And now I've got to try and get Chuck back after all that, and it's not going to be easy.
Just say
You,
Judge Dredd.
You got guns on that list, right? Because ain't nobody going to believe this if we don't got guns on this plane.
That's the point.
They don't have to work. They just need to be visible.
Working would be better.
Well, working would be nice, you know, in case I need to shoot something. But for the purpose for which we are borrowing the plane, they just need to be visible. They don't even need to be real guns.
To be fair, we've probably got more real guns than we have things that can be faked up to look like guns. If
That's
you think
entirely
about
possible,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, you've dropped off your passengers. Are you guys heading straight to the hangar where this the barn where this aircraft is hanging?
No, we're going to sneak to a suitable position to look at the farm for a bit and see if we can see any signs of activity.
Okay.
I don't know whether there's actually anybody even this. For all I know, this could be abandoned. The barn, the plane certainly was. The girl may have nothing to do with the farm at all, whether it's in use or not. So I want to look at the farm and get an idea of what's going on, and then make a plan about getting into the barn.
Okay. Can I have a sneak roll from both of you?
You most certainly can.
That means you as well, Robinson.
Yeah, I know. I'm scared to do this.
Not so good this time, but at least I did get a base level success at 5. Unlike Robinson.
I'm just flat-footed.
Okay. So you find yourselves a moderately covert place to scope the farm and the barn from.
Merlin, stealth works better if you stand behind the thing.
But then I can't see.
How long are you going to stay there and surveil the place for?
How long have I got till dusk?
We're mid-afternoon now. I didn't specify time of year. I was working on it being late winter, early spring. So sort of February, March time.
Oh, it's cold. What? Oh.
You're up a mountain. Of course it's bloody cold.
You're up a mountain. This is why flight suits and leather jackets and gloves are a thing.
Yep.
They're heavy.
I want to give us at least half an hour of light when we move it, left when we move it. So I
Okay.
suppose we'll hang around and watch till then, however long that may be.
Well, there's no sign of movement up to the point you decide you want to move in.
Right, let's move in then.
Okay. The barn
Not
is,
the
as you
sneaky
know,
super spy thing
unlocked.
approaching the barn.
Not the Scooby-Doo tiptoe thing.
Well, if you want to do the Scooby-Doo tiptoe thing, that might explain why you only got 4 in this one.
and the barn is open, the plane is there.
Yeah, okay.
Now, is it scrutinise or search that's used to spot things that they may not necessarily be directly looking for but happen to come upon? Drup, which would you use for
So-
that?
Sorry, which was the option? I was.
Scrutinise or search or something else for seeing something they wouldn't necessarily look for but might just catch out of the corner of their eye or...
I would say scrutinise.
I would say scrutinise.
Yep. Can I have a scrutinise from the pair of you, please? I thought it was, but...
Scrutinise.
good lord.
Okay, I'm reckoning 14's pretty good.
Yes.
It's pretty dark.
Oh, Robinson. Right, so...
Nice, exploded.
I'm just used to reading stuff by lamplight. My eyes aren't used to the dark.
Clearly, or indeed, you've ruined your eyes by reading stuff by lamplight.
That's what it is, yeah.
So, Fishy, you can't tell whether this was here last time you were here or not, i.e. yesterday.
It's a bomb.
But the ladder that leads up to the mezzanine in the barn has a cracked rung in it, and you want to assume it's red paint, but it might not be.
You
On a couple of the
I-
rungs.
think I'm going to go and take a closer look at that. I don't really have any suitable skills. CSI Skyhaven I'm not. I can search, I suppose.
You
See
can
if I
search.
can find any further clues.
I look for clues. See, look, we should have done the Scooby-Doo tiptoe thing.
Fine.
Okay, so yeah, it's unfortunately probably not red paint. You still can't be too sure about it because it's dried, but it's not quite the right red for the normal sort of red paint to see. It just doesn't look right for paint.
And the rungs look like something hit them quite hard.
Yes.
Under the circumstances, and carefully avoiding those rungs, I'm going to scoot up the ladder to see if there's anything up there, like maybe a body dump.
Okay. Sure enough, behind some of the bales of hay that are there is a body. Male, face
That was
down.
the other beloved companion.
Which you assume male from the attire, but face down.
Yeah, I'll probably roll it over, take a quick look, see if I can... Well, first off, actually, I will look to see if, for example, there's a big messy bit on the back of its head, which would match with, say, being smacked into the rungs of a ladder or hit over the back of the head.
Big messy.
Big messy bit, no. Messy bit, yes.
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah.
Check he's dead.
Okay. I suppose, yeah, I probably ought to do that, shouldn't I? I'm sure I
Check
have
he
some
has a
kind
pulse.
of medical skills of... No, I don't. I have no medical skills whatsoever. But I do have a basic education, I suppose.
Yep.
So let's just roll a d6 minus 4. 0. He's human.
Yeah,
Maybe.
He might be dead. He's certainly not moving.
Okay, so quick check through his pockets and see if he's got any ID on him.
Nope.
Nope. I don't recognise him at all.
Another scrutinise roll. Okay, that's good enough.
Okay. Slightly better scrutinised.
So, in terms of attire, he's wearing sort of well-worn outdoors clothes. Not a flight suit, but not sort of normal going to the pub clothes. Sort of
He looks
outdoorsman type, like
somebody
he might
who
be a
would belong
farmer.
on a farm,
Yeah.
for example. Yeah.
Yeah. The inside pocket to his waistcoat, the lining, as you go to frisk the pocket for ID and stuff, the lining is hanging out.
Mhm.
Like someone's already been and done that.
Like something has been through this already. Yeah. I wish I knew whether this was here yesterday.
That's the problem.
However, the plane is back in the barn
Yes,
because I left it outside.
you did.
So somebody's put the plane away,
It's just really tidy. You get it out, you put it away.
which that to me implies that if it was her or whoever she's in league with, that they want to use it again. Because otherwise, why bother stashing it back in the barn? And that they don't actually own it or the farm, and were discovered probably by this person who they then bashed on the back of the head. And I'm thinking an associate rather than her would be more likely to have ended this chap through violence.
Why, did she look particularly wussy, or are you just assuming that a woman is not going to be capable of
1930s, and I'm
smacking?
automatically biased against the idea of a woman beating somebody up.
You work with Masha.
Yes,
You-
but
you-
she's an exception.
You work with Masha. The Medusas are entirely female.
Yeah.
Yes, but they're also an exception.
Mash is also foreign.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
Yes,
Then, of course, there's the Black Swan.
disadvantage.
And you've heard that accent. Probably a commie. Bit early to be worrying about commies, but
If nothing else, she is one of the most venture capitalist people you've ever encountered. Let's face it, free wealth distribution.
Nah, she's definitely. She just believes everything belongs to her.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to come back down and steadfastly not tell Merlin about this.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to disturb him any more than he's
No.
already disturbed.
Right, Merlin, what are
I
you
just wanted to
doing
get the plan working.
while Chuck's taking a look up in the hayloft?
Well, I guess I'll check that pipe, the one that was kicked before. No, don't want any recurring problems. And then it's just making sure this can fly, isn't it? We're not doing any modifications here.
Okay. No, the
Does it have fuel? That's a good
it does have
question.
fuel. The sabotage that you fixed has not re-sabotaged itself. The aircraft does have a hook for carrier docking, so you could dock it at your carrier if you wished.
So I don't need to slapdash one on the top.
Nope.
No, you
Interesting.
didn't anyway.
That's a shame.
And can I have a scrutinise roll from you, please?
I suppose so. It's not going to be very good.
Doesn't matter. That's enough. This wasn't a particularly tough one. Going through the normal checks. You didn't check it last time round, but going through this time, the dusting tanks are full.
Huh. What do you know?
Yeah, you know what? Before dumping that out anywhere, we really need to know what that is.
Oh, what a brilliant idea. Accidentally crop dusted the whole of Skyhaven with cocaine.
Not highly corrosive defoliant.
You're up a mountain. There's a limit to the amount of foliage anyway. Although,
You
yeah,
know, you might want to
Colorado,
melt
which-
someone's face off.
You're
You
quite a
never
violent
know.
person.
Why is that?
Have you
why
read
you're
The
my
individual,
traits?
our mechanic.
My disadvantage is, you know.
full crop dusting tanks?
Fill it with
Let
acid.
space melt. That is not my first stop in this process.
Me neither, but
Well, that's a
wow.
highly corrosive chemicals for.
I'm not sure, to be
This is why
honest,
we don't let you out.
which of us is worse there, that he went to face melting and I went to
Cocaine, yeah.
canisters. Yeah, the tanks full of cocaine.
But yours at
I was
least
just
is
thinking in
valid.
terms of they were sneakily moving things around, what
Yeah.
might one sneakily move around that would go into these kind of tanks.
But yes, this is why we don't let you off the Zeppelin.
Yeah.
This is why
clearly.
we keep you in your lab and we leave you there.
But aside from that, or indeed, apart, including that, she is ready to fly.
If only we had a convenient body to test these chemicals on.
Leave the hold on, not there.
Fortunately, he doesn't actually know about the body yet.
Yeah.
Good point.
Chuck will
Pictures
come
of the
back
dead.
and, not as surreptitiously as he would like to think he was being, check that Merlin's wearing gloves while doing this one.
Are you wearing gloves, Merlin?
I'm wearing that flight suit. I'm assuming the flight suit has gloves.
Yeah, logically they would, because
Good.
Yeah.
cold.
Good.
Okay, so you've got an aircraft.
Okay.
And face melting, yeah. You'll
Do
fly,
I need-
aren't you?
Do I need him to kick the propeller to start this? We never established it last time.
Didn't last time.
Right. In that case, yeah, I will usher him on board.
Okay, this
Clamber
thing does
on
have
board
a
myself.
seatbelt, right?
myself.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. The nameless young lady would have had a real problem if this didn't have a seatbelt.
Yeah, it was upside down a few times.
Yeah,
And yeah,
definitely putting the seatbelt on.
Are you shutting the doors behind you
Start
or
her up.
not?
No.
Nope. Okay.
Start her up and taxi out, take off as soon as and as quickly as I possibly can. Initially heading west,
Okay.
gaining altitude, and then coming round to get as really to try and come in on our chosen landing site from directly
yeah.
away
The
from
cracks.
Skyhaven,
Yep.
and getting plenty of height as soon as possible before heading round to there, because I don't want to be seen doing this manoeuvre.
At this rate, we're going to be trying to piss off one group of pirates with another group of pirates playing, possibly smugglers, definitely murderers, in order to regain something that's been stolen. I'm reasonably sure that detective stories should not
Yes.
get this complicated.
There's definitely more than one story going on here.
Oh
isn't
yeah,
there?
we are convoluting.
So you now have
Um,
access to the
No,
picture and
it's not.
stats for the crap duster.
Yep.
Yay!
Yay!
Let's play with this. Oh, look at that top speed.
So,
Yeah.
yes, as we roar into the sky at over 100 miles an hour, Midas, if it wasn't for the noise of the engine, could be heard muttering about how slow this piece of crap is.
To be fair, you are largely getting it straight in the face, though. You know, you don't normally get quite so much of the wind in your hair.
Yeah, true.
You know you're wearing
First time
goggles.
he's flown an open cockpit.
I'm definitely wearing goggles. I'm wearing the biggest
goggles are
you've
most
Oh,
ever
God,
certainly
seen.
yeah.
a thing.
Goggles, flying hat.
Mm.
This needs the
He's
full
wearing those
works.
even in the enclosed cockpit of
Yeah.
Little Nelly.
I've suddenly got
Got night vision
terrible
goggles.
image.
No.
Is it Helga and her flick with the flying
Oh my
goggles?
god.
Oh, God, yeah.
I'll add night vision to my list of things to create.
Oh,
So
God.
you head west and then take a long loop round.
Yes, indeed. And then come in and hope that there are actually some flares here that I can
Yep.
see a landing strip on.
I will, as night falls, I will start listening out for a plane, and I will have a couple of flares
Okay.
good to go.
Yep. Not long after nightfall, you hear a plane.
Hmm. Okay. I will, in that case, trigger and ditch off 2 flares, then run forwards 100 feet or so, and do it again to
Okay.
give them an idea.
Then
Of the
yes,
area.
Fisher, you have flares to land by.
Yay, I shall land.
Okay.
Do I have a
Can I make a
parachute?
roll for that? Or
No,
are things going well enough that I
Things
can
things
just
are going
land?
well enough that you can just land. Yeah. You know, there's no stress to the situation. Biplanes are very, very stable, and you're not doing
No
anything
chance of rolling
spectacular.
a 1 and accidentally coming down too soon and flying straight through Masha as she's placing the last flares.
Not unless you want to give it a go.
Whoops.
Well, that was close. Thanks for that.
New keyboard, please.
Nearly. I must check if this one is water resistant. Oh dear.
Okay, yeah, so get down, shut it down.
Shut it down. Shut it all down. Right. Okay. I will make use of the canvas and ropes
Mm-hmm.
and pull out a cover, and then go and stamp out the flares.
Okay.
When she goes to stamp out the flares, I'm going to follow after her.
Hmm.
Boss, can I have a
Yeah.
word?
Speak.
I think things got more complicated.
What did you do?
I found a body. And
It was murder.
Good night. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know if it was there yesterday or not.
Okay.
But there was something fishy about that girl and what she was doing. She wanted the plane flying so she could drop off something. She just threw it out of the cockpit to some guy on the ground who was waiting for her. Now I find this body.
Huh. So now we're flying in the plane that was last used by potential mothers.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's involved in some criminal endeavor. We're going to want to keep ourselves as distant from this plane as we can.
Yeah, we keep that. We don't
And
take
not
this
just
back.
because we borrowed it.
I think we borrow it and then either you return it, or we simply fire it.
Yeah, that might be an idea.
Remove all traces after we're done.
It's a shame because although it's a piece of crap, it could be useful, but I don't like the idea.
Hmm.
I don't think it has a legitimate owner anymore. I think he's lying dead in his own barn.
What we could do is, after we are done with it, assuming it's not shot to pieces, we could always repaint in bad debt livery. A plane is a plane is a plane.
Hope nobody comes looking.
Hmm.
Yeah, Merlin don't know nothing about any of this, by the way.
Okay, good move. I don't want him distracted. Right, let's get to work. One problem at a time, and if you see this girl again, don't do any jobs for her. No matter how nicely she smiles at you.
No, if I see this girl again, I might do a job on her.
Description, please.
I will describe her as
Yep.
best I can.
Also, where did you drop off package?
And I'll tell her that as well. And I know where it happened. I noticed it.
Yeah, fun that you flew there. You could pretty much fly another plane back there again.
Yeah, easy peasy.
It was under a landmark, wasn't it?
It was.
It was under a.
There was a big
rock ledge.
hooped rock.
Yeah, yeah. On
Yeah.
the western edge of
Yep.
Skyhaven, if I remember rightly from the map.
Just in case our luck is not that good, package you dropped off was not the size of, say, a prototype warhead carrying a remote
No.
control plane.
Oh, yes.
Maybe
Real small.
coordinates for prototype.
Information then. Information or valuables. And something that was not going to suffer from the fall.
Could be money.
Could be money, could be
But,
tools, could be paper.
Roll of bills in a box.
But
Hell,
yes,
for all I know, I helped her deliver the payment for someone to get someone to come and kill her brother, and that's who's in the barn. I have no clue what's going on.
okay,
I just know there's somebody's dead, and we've got a plane that's involved with it.
right. We do one problem at a time then. We make this plane as unidentifiable as possible. So, we repaint,
Well, that I reckon we can rely on Merlin for.
yeah, we relogo, and we arrange for some kind of armaments, all of which will change the outline from a regular crop duster to at least tramp fighter. Anything else?
Don't think so.
Okay.
So let's have for
She
the
doesn't know that the tanks are still full.
no.
Nor does Chuck. He never checked.
Oh.
The only
okay.
person that knows the tanks are full is Merlin.
I'd have thought Chuck would have figured it out because he's flown the plane empty and he's flown the plane full.
I didn't check whether it was full first time round.
No.
Oh, okay,
Did it
fair enough.
Can I make a roll to see if it flew, if its handling characteristics were slightly different second time out?
Yeah, go for it.
What would I be rolling on? Would that be pilot?
Pilot.
I would put that as piloting, but possibly instead of the dexterity, I would put it under cognition.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Notice
so
it
I
feeling
can
maybe
roll
heavier on the stick if it's
Yeah, because cognition governs the
cognitive
observational skills. So this is noticing something to do with your piloting ability.
Yep. See what Mr. Fishy comes up with.
That's the correct code.
What do you roll? 9. It's not
I got
bad.
a 9.
No, yeah. So
It's one
yeah, she was a
success.
little heavier on the stick this time round.
Mm-hmm.
5d10.
He's a good pilot.
He's a good pilot, and he's not stupid.
Yeah.
Not in terms of cognition. Anyway, he's got no common sense, but he's got a brain.
Yeah, I didn't say he didn't.
So yeah, it was heavier on the stick, like there was
Complete
extra
opposite
ballast
way
on
around.
board.
Mm.
I don't know, because he's got no experience with crop dusters. I don't know that he would automatically think who are the tanks for. But that is something he would call to Merlin's attention. Point out, she seemed a little sluggish, a little heavy on the stick this time out. You want to check whether there's something wrong.
Okay, so I'm going to look at the steering as well, because obviously I've never come straight to the conclusion that it's...
Of course, the man's got no flying
There's an
skills.
obvious conclusion here.
Yeah.
I will ignore that and look at everything else first, and then say, yeah, it's
Yeah.
because the tanks are full.
Yeah, there's several hundred gallons of liquid in the tanks, if you're lucky.
Shit.
If you're unlucky, it's several dead people.
You know, I had completely forgotten the era when I made my cocaine comment earlier on.
Well, it
Tell you
was
what
legal.
does fit in a crop duster's tanks, and that's bootleg liquor. There is still prohibition in some of these states.
Oh, you're right. Oh, you so need to start siphoning.
Yeah.
What if it's still face-melting chemicals?
Off you go.
A plan with no drawbacks.
I wondered if
Yes.
someone was going to make that connection.
Yeah. Sorry.
Have a
but
chip.
it's
Sorry,
still-
it took me a moment to twig.
Yay.
Fishy,
Woo.
have a chip
For me?
for spotting that.
Nice.
So I'm not just going to dump it on the floor because it's in the way of my smoke plan.
I think when you open the tanks, you
And
probably
it
are going
smells
to
of
get.
gin.
Yeah, I think you're probably going to get a fairly strong whiff. If nothing else, you might want to point out that people need not to smoke around it.
Yeah, literally, as soon as you open the tank to start working on your plan, there is a very strong whiff of alcohol. That's not crop dusting chemicals in there. That is alcohol.
No.
That is
Well, that's different.
grain, spirit,
Are we
alcohol.
around when he gets to that point?
We're all
have we already
painting.
gone and left him to it? Oh yeah, we're painting, yeah.
Yeah.
But then we've got the paint masking the paint
It depends.
masking it. Are we going to notice?
Wood alcohol versus paint.
Would alcohol? Yes, I think it would.
If nothing else, we have some.
It's a very
Yeah,
different
mushrooms.
smell, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might not notice it as strongly, but there would be a difference of aroma in the area.
Let's see. Is it potato vodka? Because that would that would certainly get Mash's attention.
No, it's definitely grain.
Boring then. The finest vodka is made in somebody's bathtub. You then sprinkle pepper on top, and it makes the engine oil sink.
I think we got another piece of the puzzle there, boss.
Smugglers then. Excellent, and we have stolen their cargo.
And the plane.
And their plane. I think they're probably more concerned about the contents.
Yeah, at least we can be reasonably sure they ain't going to call the cops on us.
That's a plus. On the other hand, homicidals booze smugglers.
Well, that's why we're going to put guns on the plane.
Oh, the grin that went with that comment. That was very Joker-esque.
You want your plane back? Fine, come get it.
Yeah, it does also mean that unless we can find some way to decant those safely, you cannot take any damage, because that is going to blow up if a bullet goes straight through it.
We're going to need to decant that.
So,
And we're going to need to do it without the penny pincher from seeing it. He ain't counting these beans. These are ours.
Okay.
So where are you going to decant it to and how?
Yeah.
Do the tanks not come out?
Not without taking half the plane apart, no.
No. How much does this thing hold, roughly?
Okay, right, what we're going to do is we'll turn on the crop dusting and we'll put buckets under each of the nozzles.
It's a very good question. I didn't
Stand a
work that
barrel
out.
under each nozzle and just turn the system on. Yeah, that's one way of doing it.
Yes. It would be like a mass version of those alcohol sprays.
Okay, so how?
See Jack with his
What is
mouth
the
on-
capacity? Do we know of these tanks?
Yeah.
Approximately.
Approximately 800 gallons.
Right.
How many tanks are there?
2 tanks.
So
So
we
it's
really only need
800
empty
gallons
one.
total. 400 gallons, 2 tanks.
So we really only need to empty
It's a lot
one
of hip
and
flasks.
seal off the other one.
We really need not to have high explosive materials
Yeah.
inside the plane that may get shot at. Call me picky. Okay. How much?
I don't think the problem is finding 800 gallons worth of tanks. I think the problem is finding 800 gallons worth of tanks without calling the attention of the guys who think this is theirs.
Well, that's your problem.
I mean, this place caters to airmen. Barrels, not hard to come by.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that would leave me flying to town probably to try and obtain such things without drawing sufficient attention. Okay.
Murphy's Laws of Combat Operations. Number, I can't remember now.
No plan ever
survives
survives
contact with the enemy.
And in this case, the enemy is reality.
Yeah.
Okay. It's evening now, so we can't really do a lot. I can't do a lot. But we may as well get on with the painting.
Yeah. If
And
nothing
start
else,
work.
we want to disguise the plane
As
in
fast as
case
possible.
somebody's looking for it.
Absolutely damage in. So, we get on with the cosmetic stuff. Merlin can look at mounting a weapon, at least one. And come morning, I will head to one of the suppliers in town.
I got a thought.
Really?
It happens. Maybe we do this 2-stage,
Okay.
and just put the basic coat of paint on, fly it back to the bad debt, empty
Unload
the tanks there.
We can use one of the empty fuel tanks.
Yeah, put
We've
the
got
logo
resupply
on.
tanks there.
Either put the logo on board, or just fly her back here afterwards.
Yeah. Anonymize first.
Yeah.
Right then.
Just paint it grey, fly it back to the bad debt.
Paint it grey. In that case, I want a gun on there first because I want it to look like a mercenary ship.
True.
I see a steamer and I want it painted grey.
Maybe we could paint a UPS logo on it.
Surely that'd be brown.
Okay, so let's get this painting done first. Let's get it looking better than it is now. Merlin, arm it.
In a place that probably doesn't shoot the propeller bits, I'm assuming.
That would be good.
Potato, potato.
Well, that depends on whether you can arm it and synchronize it.
Did you say that there was a picture available?
Yeah,
Mhm.
there is a handout. If you look down the handouts, you should see a crap duster handout.
Ah, gotcha.
I mean, the obvious thing, depending on what we've got to arm it with, is the good old-fashioned bolted on top of the top wing above the
Yeah,
pilot.
Yeah.
Good old World War One style.
that's what I was
Stick it on a
thinking.
pintle and have the passenger just
Yeah.
stand up and point
Yeah.
and pull.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was probably going to be
Ideal.
easiest way of doing it. But yeah.
Problem
we
with
need-
that being, of course, that the passenger is in front of the pilot in this particular plane, so we therefore be standing directly in the pilot's view while operating the gun. That might not work so well.
Can
Make
we
it
not
look
use the remote
convincing.
control system?
No, you haven't designed it yet. Stop it. Let's make it look convincing first. Worry about using it later. Let's get it up and get it drained, and then get it back so we
So
can
I
finish
am
this.
bolting a gun to the top for
Yeah.
purposes of looking like it has a gun.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
But the easiest way to make it look like it has a gun is to give it a gun. Let's
Yeah.
be honest.
Yeah.
How easy it is to use isn't relevant at this point. What's
Yeah.
relevant is that it's got a gun.
Meanwhile, we are using all the battleship grey paint that we've got for undercoat to make this look as anonymous as possible.
This is going to be the Crimson Skies version of a muscle car driving around in primer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing I would suggest is, since we stole it at dusk, that we fly it back to the bad debt at dawn. Yeah, take off just before it gets bright, so we've
Yeah.
just got enough light when we get back to the bad deck. Minimise the chances of anybody seeing it.
Yep.
Okay. So you get your painting done.
Mhm.
You're
All
flying it
painted
back to
back.
the bad debt. Are you flying back in formation, or is the maquette staying behind with the canvas up?
I'm inclined to say I need to get back to the bad debt because if nothing else, I can field.
You can
Armoured.
probably head back first. in
I can
fact,
head
and-
back
and,
earlier, yeah.
Prep things there, and then we.
Mm.
In fact, you can take Merlin with you. I can fly
Yeah.
back on my own. I just need to take off and fly home.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Would
If I
the
do
gun
that,
get in the way of the hook, though?
no.
No, the airship can hangar 5 aircraft. The hook drops down, picks up whichever aircraft is docking, connects. It gets lifted up on an internal mechanism and stored, and then the hook then drops back out again.
The gun's going to mount at the front of the wing, and the hook is going to be at the back of the wing. So it wouldn't interfere with one another.
Okay. So
So
yeah,
either that or we have two guns, one either side of where the hook mounts,
That would
Just getting
be
everything
better because the
tested.
hook is
yeah.
forward.
because the hook's got to be quite
Yeah, and the hook's quite big.
bulky.
So two
So, yeah,
guns.
okay.
then.
So we've put a gun either side of the hook, effectively. So
Right. So this thing is now becoming quite heavily armed.
It
Ah,
becomes a
two,
jacket jacket.
230 cals. It's doubly as armed as Nelly.
Yay.
yeah, Nellie's got a bigger caliber, but
That's true. Nelly's on a 40 cal, isn't she?
yeah, he's got a .4. Yeah.
Ooh. Now, don't get bullet envy. Okay. So yeah, I will take. In that case, Merlin's probably going to be working later on the guns then, so I will head back to with the Marquette to the. Fair enough. Updating as you go.
Yeah, why not?
I will head back to the bad debt then.
Okay. Merlin, can I have a tinkering roll to properly mount these things on the aircraft? We're not going to go into mad science with it because it's not into the realms of pulp science fiction in the 30s, but it is nevertheless a modification that requires a little bit of tinkering here and there.
9.
And don't forget, you can add any of your chips, should you so desire, to improve.
Is 9 too low? I don't know what that's good.
I'm simply advising you because you.
Okay, the basic rules, Robinson. For most rolls, a 5 is a success.
Yep.
Every 5 beyond that, so 10, 15, 20, 25, etc., is a raise. Depending on how difficult this is, you may need 1 or more raises to succeed at it. Or alternatively, the more raises you've got past the basic level that you need, the better a job you've done on it. So if you want to mount these really well, then obviously you want raises.
Or make them
You
more
just want to put
functional,
them
more
on there.
useful.
Probably 5 is enough just to mount a couple of guns, but how easy they will be to use at that level is another matter.
Precisely.
So you've almost certainly mounted them there, it's just whether you want to do a better job. If you do, you can spend chips on it.
Well, they're not supposed to be used in this position, so we'll just leave them as on there.
At the moment, they're a disguise, really, aren't they?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. If you're happy with that, that's cool. So the guns are mounted, and as dawn approaches, you're ready to set chocks away.
Indeed.
Okay.
And right, you said that Madonna was flying back first. She's in the faster aircraft, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Also, it means that I can field Armin, who is likely to be the biggest interference. The rest of the crew, not a problem. Yeah, they'll just ignore what we're doing. Yeah, let's get
Okay.
on with it. But
Can
Armin
both-
might throw a spanner in the works.
I'm resisting the temptation, but as those two leave, being slightly back in time, as those two leave, I, not Chuck, am resisting the temptation to say, smoke me a kipper, I'll be back for breakfast.
So Merlin's riding in the maquette. Is that correct?
That was the plan.
Okay, can both Drut and Fishy draw a single card for me, please?
Can indeedy.
Now,
In a system that uses cards, it's a nice, easy way to randomise certain
No,
events.
that's cool. That is absolutely cool, fine, no problem.
Assuming you have a deck of cards to hand.
Me? Yeah.
Either of you.
I've just used the one on the on Roll20, to be honest.
That works.
I've got
Oh,
one to hand,
shit.
but I haven't taken it out of the box yet.
Right, is that black or red?
Right, you
Red.
got it, Jack.
Red, it says red on it. Right.
I'm in the plane with her, right?
Yes,
Spot.
Robinson, you're in the plane with Drut.
Spot the Deadlands GM.
So, for
Hugely
those...
regretting that I did not think to find a Mark Hamill Joker laugh to queue up for when we draw
Oh,
the Joker in these
yes.
games.
Yes.
Needs to be done for the next
Does
session.
need to be done, yes,
Absolutely, yeah.
absolutely. So, Drut,
I'm gonna regret this, I'll tell you.
are you flying back in a straight route or a slightly circuitous route?
Circuitous. I do not want to give people a straight line back
Okay.
to our secret hideout.
So, you're flying, as you realise that you've done this, you're flying a little bit close to where you saw the Red Hat blimp. You can hear aircraft in the
Do
clouds
you mean the
above
top
you.
hat? Because Red Hat is
Sorry,
something else
yes.
altogether.
Top hats, sorry.
That's all right.
Top
I
hats.
was thinking, God, did we piss somebody else off with
No,
the
no,
last
top
night?
hats.
We didn't
Top
know
hats.
this.
This is the supernatural air pirates.
they're Linux air pirates. No, top hats. That's just me having a brain fart, I do apologise.
That's okay, no problem.
Yeah. So you're in the rough vicinity
roasted.
of where the top hat's blimp was, and you can hear aircraft buzzing around above you.
Okay.
You can hear
Are we supposed to be
intermittent
here?
bits of chatter on the radio, but nothing clear enough to work out what's going on. There's something interfering.
Right. Oh.
Not around to help you this time. You're on your own.
Okay. In the fly casual mode, Merlin, do me a favour and see if you can clean up that radio signal. I'm just going to see if I can take us away from the source.
Okay.
It's an older plane, sir, but it checks out. I was just about to pass it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can find anything involving pass signs, code and counter code, that sort of thing, just so we can give it, if we need to. Okay.
Right. So you adjust direction to hopefully fly casual. And barreling out through the cloud in front of you, smoking, burning, and generally looking like it's about to blow up, is a brigand in top hat colours.
Well, bollocks. I really must learn some Russian swear words. I think we can safely say that's roughly what she's saying. Evasive action.
Rasputin's standard is Bozhe moi.
Bozhe moi. Yes. Yes, of course it is. An evasive action then. To avoid
Piloting
the
roll,
burny
please.
thing. Piloting roll is
Meanwhile, can I have a
Is there a not die of motion sickness
physics roll, please, from Robinson?
God, you're petty.
Physics? Yeah,
Have you
you're
seen-
messing with radio waves. We'll make it physics.
Have you seen my vigor and other various
No.
not dying
Depending on what
type
Drut
things?
does, a vigor roll may be needed from Robinson.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Did you say physics?
Yes.
10.
There it is. Does this count as a machinery roll?
No. Machinery is
It's very much electronics.
heavy
and
machinery. This is
red,
electronics, yeah.
Electromagnetics. It's not machinery. Is it?
Yeah. Machinery would be big drills, engineering level machinery.
Yeah,
So you made a 10, Drut. Okay.
I did.
I'm glad you made the 10.
One success, hopefully one success, one raise.
One success.
Yeah.
You position yourself to avoid the burning wreckage of the brigand. When you realise there's another one immediately to your left.
Okay, and round we go. To the right. To the
You know,
left.
you're flying just carefully around the first one, realise there's one just there, and kick it onto its side to avoid that one.
Okay.
I'd now like the vigour roll from Robinson not to lose his lunch or breakfast.
If you throw up on my cockpit, I will kill you.
I'm sorry, but this lunch is not staying down.
Oh!
It's first thing in the morning. What the hell have you eaten?
I've been up all night, remember? I've had lots and lots of
Coffee.
high energy
Coffee.
food and drinks.
Coffee.
Coffee?
He's invented Red Bull a few decades too soon.
I see. He was mixing the coffee with the whatever is in those packs.
Oh God!
Coffee and moonshine. That's really a mix. Wow. So,
It's the Red Bull and vodka of the day.
as the plane goes on its side,
I call it Calfacol.
before the radio cuts out completely due to the bodily fluid that's landed on the radio,
Asshole.
you make out a single word. Just a single word from any of the pilots up there. Nevermore.
Oh,
Hello?
bollocks.
That's the only word that gets made out before your radio goes completely dead.
We're getting the hell out of here.
So
Okay.
we're now stuck in a Doctor Who episode, are we?
No. Mop it up. We're leaving. Okay, I'm gunning it to get out of this. I really do not want anything to do with this. On the plus side, if I get too close, then I'll be able to figure out what livery colours we're dealing with. On the downside, I really don't want to get close enough to see what livery colours we're dealing with. Any cloud cover I can hide in?
Everything that's been taking place has been in the clouds above you. So there is clouds.
Yeah.
If you fly upwards into the clouds, you are getting closer
Flying
to
the middle
whatever's
of a
going
flight,
on.
There are clouds.
But there are clouds.
Yeah. To be honest, though, that might actually provide me with some cover. Because I'm heading away from the fight, but I am happy to do so in the clouds. I don't want anyone breaking out and down through the cloud cover and seeing me.
Okay.
Okay, well this is going to get great.
So
Use
into
a
the
sick
clouds
bag.
and fly by readout.
Suddenly smell and read out. And
I'll have
almost
another
psychic
piloting
powers.
roll, please.
Yeah, I bet. 4d12. Nearly as good as Chuck.
Very nearly.
Well, yay, we have an explosion. I thought 11 was good, but I will put up
Okay.
with that. So we have 12. We have a total of 17.
Okay, so
good.
up into the clouds,
Needed that.
flown by instruments, heading out until you run out of cloud, basically. As you come out of the cloud, you check your mirrors, there's nothing behind you, nothing above, nothing that you can tell below.
No sleep until you cleaned that.
But you do still have no radio.
Yeah, I do still have no radio. Great. Okay, I will head, in that case, back to the bad debt.
Okay.
This doesn't look good at all.
Fishy.
Yes.
And there's no way to talk to fish
I
because
drew
of my
two,
radio.
my card. But it wasn't a joker. It was a 2 of hearts.
Your return flight to the bad debt is completely uneventful.
Did you make it back first?
But you don't make it back first, you're flying more or less half the speed of the maquette. I suspect the
I like
maquette's engines may need to be cooled a little on arrival.
Yeah.
Yes, 4 pips to thrusters.
Redline the engines.
Yeah. Boost, 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 boost,
Boost
boost,
all
boost.
the way.
Bye! Boldly brave Sir Robinson.
I like it.
I've already had that once recently.
So,
Yeah, somehow it seems.
it's now morning, the sun has risen. You have both arrived at the bad debt.
Okay.
What next?
Okay, well, I was joking
We've got
about
some
the fact.
empty tanks to put this
Well, I'm cleaning
booze
up
in.
a radio.
Let's get the priorities
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Yeah, we can use one of the empty fuel tanks.
Yep, that's completely viable.
You want to spare fuel tanks, so we can just basically set up a siphon. Which does mean that one of us is going to have to take a mouthful of whatever the hell is in that tank in order to get it going.
Oh,
Why not just,
I'll do it.
just,
No.
you should just, send it out the nozzles.
One of us just had to fly back with the Merlin's vomit all over them. I deserve the drink. Besides, your stomach may not be able to cope. Me,
That was your fault, though.
Never grew up in my plane. I guess I'd just fly smoother.
I love that there's not a word about what happened.
Yeah.
There
will be.
Thing.
No, there will be in a moment. As soon as I start the siphon, then I will fill him in. But yeah, I'm going to get a hose and suck enough to get the siphon going.
Do you want me to make
Easy
some
enough to
like
do, yeah.
patented Calfaco?
Okay, so not sure about the technology base here. Is jamming, radio jamming, a thing? Because it was
Yeah,
definitely
it's
interference.
radio jamming's really easy in this era because you just send a telegraph, basically.
Yeah, you just need a signal on the same frequency that's got a more powerful source than
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything else.
'Cause
Okay.
It's a bit brute force, but it works.
But it works.
telegraphs could only be sent one at a time. You could only have one source because they all just blocked everyone else's telegraphs.
Okay.
Okay.
The Raven crew are called Nevermore. And I don't know what
Really
the top
pretentious name.
and I don't know what the top hats have done to piss them off. But they were blowing the crap out. We nearly
Okay,
ran
so,
into the tail end of a dogfight. And I
This-
didn't see any ravens go down.
This is not good news.
No.
We've been working on the assumption that this is a new crew, right? That
Hmm.
they're small time. But if they're
Yeah.
in a position to attack an established crew like the Top Hats, they may be new, but they're well trained,
some-
well equipped. They
They've
got
got
backing
finance.
somewhere.
They have finance behind them. They have somebody backing them.
Yeah. And we're in stage 1 of a plan to get their attention and piss them off. Are we still
Yep.
sure we want to do that?
Nothing else as yet has sprung to mind. Possibly operating a little more caution than we were going to.
What about the enemy of my enemy?
Appeal to the top hats.
The top hats must know who the hell they are.
Hmm.
Can we get information from them?
If there's anything left.
Maybe not tell them why we want to know, but
What would you suggest? I'm not sure we could just fly up to their dirigible and ask for a chat. Or could we?
And that is where we're going to leave it for tonight.
Yeah, it's a good cliffhanger.
yeah.
Good place.
You now have
And
the
again, I see the out of character
yes.
RPG chat channel used this week while we figure this one out.
Oh, yeah.
Feel free to mull things over, folks.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you
like
to
to mull.
everyone that's been in chat this evening. Thank you very much to everyone that's followed and hosted and all that lovely, wonderful stuff. You are all very, very cool people. We will be back on the
Indeed.
same bat time, same bat channel this time next week for whatever the heck these guys want to do next. Now they've got an inkling as to what's kind of happening.
Oh boy.
Thank you, Knight, for running that.
You're welcome. I'm loving this. I'm loving this to bits.
And thank you to everybody who's watched on both channels. Hope
Yes.
you've enjoyed it.
Hope so indeed. This is my first time GMing in quite a while. I say quite a while. It was last year I did Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was last year.
Yeah, it must have been.
Last September, I think.
No, it was September before that.
Oh my god.
Ooh, yeah.
Over,
So,
a year.
ago. So it's been a while since I've GM'd, and this is very, very different to what I was doing before. But I'm having a blast with it. I hope you guys are
It's a
enjoying.
lot of fun.
It's great fun. It's a setting I don't know particularly well because I never played the computer games. I've never played the war games. But I'm really, really enjoying it,
Cool.
and I'm
That's
having an absolute ball with Masha.
So
Seems like
Wednesday's midweek multiplay
Yes.
looks like it's going to be Elite Dangerous.
It
we don't know what we're going to
is.
be doing in Elite Dangerous yet, but we want to get some people together and fly some spaceships.
It would be
So
nice if I
that
could
will
make
be
enough
happening
money.
on probably all of our channels
Mm.
on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I will be
Oh.
flying spaceships on, I think, Tuesday, possibly Monday, depending on family situation.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, I am currently looking at my celebratory stream for
Oh,
hitting
yes.
100.
Oh yes, many congrats
Uh,
on that one.
So that will be a Drat on camera playing Alien Isolation,
Whoa.
possibly in the dark, because I have an illuminated keyboard, but that would stop you seeing me too much. But yeah, Alien Isolation on Saturday, so that should be a kick-off.
Nice one.
Yeah, it's going to be an experience. So,
And I will
yeah.
be there watching it. So
Hey.
I won't be streaming that night. I will be watching Drat.
As will I.
Fair
As
enough.
might Lil Bites. Just to add an extra level of toughness to the
thanks.
thrust.
Just for the challenge,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, cheers for that. Yeah.
PG Alien Isolation in the dark on camera.
See as we give Drat a heart attack.
Yay!
Oh,
I
that's
can
going to
challenge.
be fun.
Oh, get creative with your expletives. Excellent stuff. Right.
Alright folks, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
I'm knackered from Twitch London, so I'm going